Yeah!
Hey, it's Josh Williams here, and welcome to the One Man Podcast, episode number 76 for Wednesday, October 24th, 2018. How's it going, onesies? I am coming to you from sunny California this week, and with me is my partner in crime on this trip to Los Angeles, is Mike LeBlanc. Mike is with me. Thanks, buddy. For
Hello, onesies. How's everyone doing? Good?
Yeah. So Mikey and I have had quite the week already.
Yeah.
We're going to be telling you guys about what it's been like in LA so far, all the different comedy clubs we've been going to, the different food we've been eating, all the different experiences. And of course, there's still lots more to come, so you'll have to tune in next week for the rest of it. But we are sitting in our Airbnb right now. Even at the end of the episode, of course, I will get to your emails too. So let's dive right into it, guys. So I started, since the last episode, I had spent a day or two back at home. And I will say that last Wednesday, I did an event at TD Place. All right. That's the big stadium, little promenade walkway, shopping center, whatever the fuck it is. We're doing this. As always, I jump right into things. I got to give you a little bit of info. Mike and I have been burning the candle at both ends on this trip. All right. So I have so much to talk about. Mikey's here
crazy.
too. Hopefully, he'll be able to keep me awake and I him. Even today, we've had so much shit, and I'll get to that a little bit later on. So just know if I'm even more meandery than normal, it's because we've just been packing the shit out of every day. I wanted to do this earlier in the day. We just booked too much stuff. The bonuses and things like that we've got just couldn't happen any other time. So here we are at 8:30, which is still earlier than sometimes. Early. Yeah, it's still early yet, but it's later than I've been doing the podcast. Let me tell you, the energy we've been expelling on this trip. It's going to be a yawny fucking episode for me.
For me.
Yeah, for me. So the idea is, I'm just letting you guys know off the bat, we're running on fumes, but holy shit, do I have a lot to tell you about. So last Wednesday at home, an event right before I left, TD Place. It was for small businesses and clients at TD. So I was at TD Place. I was there bright, dark and early. It wasn't even sunny yet. At like 6 o'clock in the morning, I had to show up at an event. It was freezing cold. Okay. I was wearing a button-up dress shirt, standing outside in the cold, directing people to this little brunch thing. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't even know it was, super. I didn't know a whole heck of a lot about it. What the event was. All I know is it was a breakfast for TD clients. Well, it turns out they were small business people, and they were actually there to see Michelle Romanow from Dragon's Den. She was the guest speaker of honor, trying to teach small business people how to, take life by the horns and just, how to some strategies that'll help you with small business. All right. But I was outside. I was still directing people, the stragglers, everything. She had started by the time I got in. When I got in, we had breakfast and everything like that. So the whole event was a little bit, corporate-y, stuffed shirty, not one of my favorite things. Not getting a lot of water while I'm here either, because everything is so delicious. The booze, the coffee, the Mexican Cokes. Oh, does that sound derogatory? Well, maybe you should travel, okay? Because Mexican Coke, all right, something that is made by Mexicans for Mexican. No, I'm just it's made in Mexico, okay? And the plants there, they still use real cane sugar, all right?
No, it's high fructose corn syrup like they do in America here.
Yeah. It's delicious.
It's way different.
It's so different, guys.
It's so good.
It's so fucking good.
Yeah.
I can't even tell you how fucking good it is. Yeah. Anyways, every time we go to a particular place, we'll get to that. All right. This is part of the story. This is the prologue. This is still the dark ages in Canada. Darkness in the morning, freezing cold, breakfast with boring people. All right. Talking about business strategies. All right. These are people with their shit together. I don't belong there. Okay. So anyways, I go to this event in the morning. After they're done chatting with, listening to the speech or whatever, Michelle Romanow starts, she's there, she's sticking around, saying hi, greeting people, whatever. And I went up, I started chatting with her after everything was done. The event was, grinding to a halt. And I actually had an opportunity to chat with her for a few minutes. She was really cool. She's from Dragon's Den. I think I mentioned that already. Again, I'm going to be very repetitive because I'm out to lunch, but she was great. And she's very successful. I started, just asked her a couple little questions. I told her, that I know what it's like to do these sort of corporate events where you're speaking and you're not really, it's early morning. And she kept saying, like, when I told her I was a comic, she's like, she's like, oh, how do I be funnier at these things? And I go, I don't know. These things just seem to be designed not to be funny. You know, everyone's coworkers and things like that. They're in a well-lit room in the middle of the day. It's not stand-up comedy. What's stand-up comedy, Mikey? It's a dark club where you can laugh anonymously at nighttime. People don't know each other. And so it's not
other comedians who won't laugh at you either.
Apparently.
Yeah. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah. The whole idea is that comedy is designed like, I always say it wrong. Anonymity.
Anonymity, yeah.
Is it just as simple as anonymity?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, being fucking anonymous is an important part of the comedy experience. That's why we put you in a dark room. We light up the comic, and when someone tells a joke about butt fucking or something like that, you're in the dark and you can laugh and you don't think everyone's staring at you. Whereas a big corporate function, when you're there with coworkers, nobody wants to be the one that laughs at a joke because they're all afraid that, you know, they'll be the only one to laugh at something, and then all of a sudden everyone at the office is like, oh, so you found that joke funny, did you? Can you just come in here for a sec? Want to come in, have a sit down? You know, we'll talk to you about that. So I was just telling her, like, don't feel like you have to be funnier. Sometimes this shit's just hard, especially corporate daytime, you know, not press conferences. What the fuck do you call that? Presentations?
Conferences, keynote speaks, and all the other crap that they put on. Yeah, the corporate
goddamn speeches are boring. Yeah. They're not supposed to be funny. Stop trying to make your goddamn bank numbers funny. They're not funny. Anyways,
there's nothing worse than trying to talk to an accountant and make them laugh. They're just not funny people.
No, they're dead inside.
They're horrible.
That's so after the event, when I was chatting with her, she actually just asked me what my Instagram was, and she took my Instagram. She followed me. I didn't bring up social media. She did. All right. I'm not trying to get goddamn millionaire followers. I know you guys can hear all that. It's part of the reality of the show. Listen, this one, I can't even phone it in. All right. I can't. I want you guys to feel the excitement. I'm wiped. I'm wiped, and if I slept for a second, you guys would get this late, and this is not going to be the first one. This is not an excuse to be late, okay? Doing all this for you guys, killing my body out here just so that I have stories to tell you. Anyways, I had a great time chatting with her. She was cool. She took my my social medias. We chatted a little bit. Boom! I got a new best friend who happens to be a millionaire. That's all I'm trying to say. Are we that close? Absolutely not. I'm fucking kidding. But we did chat a little bit via social media, and you know, it was cool. It was cool to hang out with someone that I saw on TV and who might someday be able to give me the odd little business tip here or there. What happened afterwards, you may ask? I don't know. I was at TD Place, and who else works at TD Place?
Bing. Hello.
That would be you. Bing. Yeah. So Mikey was there. And of course, this is like 2 days before our trip. You know what, Mike? I got to tell one more story.
Sure.
I got to tell a story before our thing because something I found out that morning. This is a good one, guys. And I'm glad I'm getting into it early in the podcast because I might not have the energy to do it justice. My humble little podcast is something that, you know, I share the stories, the people that I meet, the little things that go on, you know, week to week, the funny things that I hear that I feel I can tell you guys in a relatively harmless fashion. Some time ago, I was working with a young fella named Max. Max is a great dude. Well, Max and I were working together again at the TD event. So I had a chance to see Max while this stuff was going on, and we were chatting. Max was the young guy who was seeing a woman that he absolutely despised. That's how he had phrased it at the time. That's how I had phrased it. Max, who will probably be listening to this episode. Max, probably, yeah. This was the story. Max was dating a girl that he wasn't really that keen on. But I told him, well, why don't you leave the relationship? And he had said that he was with her because she had air conditioning and he did not. Which, while is a reason, to me, it was not a good enough reason to be miserable.
Right.
You know what I mean?
At least not until fall.
It is fall.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So there was an end to this relationship at some point.
Well, not as far as he was concerned. He was also very happy at the fact that she was living closer to where he worked.
Okay.
So to him, he was saying location. He treats relationships like real estate.
That's right.
Basically, that's what happened. So I saw Max, and he told me that he had showed his girlfriend he had shown his girlfriend at the time the podcast episode where I talked about that particular thing. Now, he said that he had just shown her the first few seconds where I said his name and mentioned that we had worked together. Well, I guess his girlfriend, then he said he turned it off. I guess his girlfriend had done a little investigative journalism, not journalism, maybe some Google foo as they call it.
Yeah.
And she found the One Man Podcast, my humble little, you know, journal that I share with all of you people. Well, she listened to the episode That's what he told me. He goes, dude, she listened to the episode and kicked my ass out. That's what happened. He told me, he's like, yeah, she heard the episode and she kicked my ass. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? And then it's when he proceeded to tell me what had happened, how he had showed her. Must have found it. And I said, I am so sorry, Max. I am so sorry. I never, he was like, no. My life's never been better. He's like,
No.
Things are great. He's like, it's never better. Couldn't be happier right now.
So-
and I was like, really?
I get the feeling Max is listening. So Max, let me give you some advice. If you're doing this, what you want to do, if you're seeing women just because of location and sort of convenience and such, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go in an area that's close to your work and pull out your phone and get a swipe app and then narrow down the location down to like the 1 kilometer range.
Wow, this is way more in depth than I thought it was going to be.
And you pretty much got your narrow market right there. That's what you're going to have to convince. You probably, you'll have to figure out what your check marks are beyond that. But I think that's my dating advice for today, Max.
I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
I like that. I thought, here's the thing. When you started giving advice, I thought you were going to go in the direction of, here's what you need to do. You need to respect women if you're not happy. Like, I thought you were going to go, I was going to say Uncle Phil.
No, I think
Dr. Phil.
Yeah.
And Uncle
You
Phil.
need a wake-up call.
Yeah. How fun is that? You got to do the Uncle Phil thing. So you throw him out the front door like jazz. Yeah, exactly. No. You got the Dr. Phil. I thought you were going to give him practical advice. No. Instead, you gave him exactly how to work the system.
Yeah,
in his
I think
favor.
Max is incorrigible anyway, so I might as well give him the advice he's going to need. I mean,
well, there you go, Max.
Yeah, Max.
Mike's on your side.
it's on yours.
I think I want you guys to know that's the power of my podcast. All right. Is apparently so far, I don't know how much good the podcast has done, but I've ended one relationship with my fucking mouth. So that's a little, I mean, Max, I'm glad it worked out for you, that things are going better. He's mentioned how he's, before he had to get up for early in the morning, and that's why getting up at her place was more
Easier,
convenient or
yeah.
whatever. So I meant to get a hold of Max to get the full story of how shit went down. Now he said that she's still contacting him. She's still messaging him, sending him cute little pictures and things like that. So she kicked him out, but she still wants him. She didn't want him in the house. She just wants him inside.
Must have
you know
some
what I'm
good
saying?
D.
Some good D.
Some good D, let me tell you.
I
do
just,
it.
but does that make sense to you?
Yeah,
The idea that she would kick him out of the house, but
Yeah.
but I still want you to fuck me.
that's right.
Why?
I don't know.
Max, if you have the answer, I need you to
Yeah,
tell
we
me.
want to hear you. Send an email.
Yeah,
Contact
send an email
at
or
one man podcast.
that's right. Contact at onemanpodcast.com. And or you can just give me a call like I fucking asked you to. But either way, thank you for telling me that I've ruined things. Max was great about it, but I do have a fucking heart in this oversized chest that I really feel awful about what happened. So I'm sorry. I mean, like you said, I mean, I really truthfully I do believe that relationship should be over.
Yeah,
If he's not, if he hates her,
that's toxic.
you're right. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can't have that. So at the end of the day, I'm glad that it's over because I know that it's the healthiest. But I apologize because it wasn't my place to end it. Does that make sense?
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but you're happier now, and she's still fucking. All she wants is to fuck you, anyways, right? You don't like her. She doesn't want to snuggle with you. All right. She's gonna save a couple of bucks on the hydro bill because you're not there enjoying your life all day every day.
Oh,
There's a helicopter
there's
going
a
by.
helicopter going by.
Los Angeles searchlights.
It feels like GTA 5.
Yeah. Jesus Christ, is it buzzing the building specifically?
Yeah, it's probably, if I
Sounds
see
like
a
it's-
spotlight coming out, I know this is cops.
It sounds
right
like
away.
it's directly going down the street.
Yeah.
Well, that was quite the show
All right.
of force from the fucking helicopter.
Cool.
So anyways, so that's what happened with Max. The power of my podcast, guys. Don't tell me something like that in a funny way because I will. I thought I could tell the story anonymously, but I guess if I tell a story about you that's going to get you in trouble, don't go and show the person directly the podcast and say, hey, listen to this, and then think by stopping it seconds before I say something bad that you're somehow getting off scot-free. Hey, speaking of which, did you know what the term scot-free means?
Scot-free.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I got away with it scot-free.
It's that fertilizer stuff, right?
Scott's turf builder?
Oh, yeah. No, what does
So,
it mean?
so this is my understanding. I'm sure it can be worded better because I'm inarticulate very often. But scot-free is like when everyone knows you did it. Like, let's put it this way. And I would say that it's even not as accurate, but like OJ.
Yeah.
Like he got off scot-free.
Allegedly.
Right. But that's what I'm saying.
I know.
So he's not the perfect example because not everyone knows, but it's like one of those things where like everyone knows you did it.
Right.
It's just they can't prove it. you get away with it. So
get away with it.
it's like get away with
You get
something,
to write
but
a
everyone
book
knows
about
you.
how you might have possibly done it. And-
Yeah. So scot-free is when you're pretty much everyone knows you're guilty. So sometimes people use that. I mean, whatever sayings people get away with it. Doesn't matter. No one has. Why would I add extra fucking nomenclature to this goddamn podcast?
But what's
You
the
have
origin
1,000
of it, you
things.
think?
Go
Like
to
who's
hell.
Scott? The one Scott that made this.
All right, fucker. I'm doing this in front of it. That's you brought it on yourself. I'm bringing
I
it
love
up.
that.
So let's do this. Mike, you want to talk about something? Well, you know what? We're gonna get to the week. So
Yeah.
let me bring this up. What does scot-free mean? Oh boy.
Origin of Scott Free. I bet you there's a guy named
Why is
Scott
this-
Free.
You think so?
No, I don't think so.
Origin of scot-free. You know anything like that? You know any sayings where you know the origin? Ooh, it's Scott, S-C-O-T. There's only one T.
Oh,
So todayifoundout.com
it's in Scotland.
is my
Scottish.
source before somebody gets mad at me and tells me I should change my personal explanations.
Yeah,
of
yeah,
things.
yeah.
Okay, so the term scot-free does not come from the Dred Scott v. Sandford Supreme Court case.
Okay.
Okay, so myth. The term scot-free has its origin from the Dred Scott v. Sandford U.S. Supreme Court case. Scot-free, also sometimes written scot-free, scot-free, or scot-free, or scot-free. Go fuck yourselves. Incorrectly. Who's banging around outside? Fuck. Everyone's trying to break in everyone else's shitty place. As scot-free actually predates the Dred Scott Supreme Court ruling in 1857 by a very large margin, having been around since at least the 11th century.
Ooh, old school.
Yeah, another common misconception is that the phrase has some association with the Scottish.
Oh, see, I
there
assume
you
that.
go.
I assume that.
In fact, Scot in this case is from the Old Norse word skot, S-K-O-T, meaning something to the effect of payment or contribution. In English, Scot initially just meant tax. So the phrase scot-free was first used in reference to municipal tax levels. So there you go. Tax levies. I apologize. Each person in a town would be obligated to pay a share of the Scot tax,
Right.
which was called their lot. In some areas, you also were not allowed to vote unless you paid your lot of the Scot. You paid your lot of the Scot. This is getting very tongue twistery. Those who didn't pay, such as poor or those wealthy individuals that could get out of it, were then scot-free. All right, so there you go. So the case of the Dred Scott. Well, what's the fake one? Are they going to tell me?
let's not do the fake one.
Well, here it is. It says it. So the Dred Scott Sandford case has since given rise to the false, etymology
yeah.
that it had something to do with this Supreme Court ruling on whether Dred Scott and his family should be set free or not. For those not familiar, Dred Scott was a slave born in Virginia somewhere between 1795 and 1799, who ultimately played a large role in accelerating the start of the U.S. Civil War and indirectly helped popularize the Republican Party. Jesus Christ, there's so many paragraphs. We started down the road, right? Scott originally was owned by Peter blah, blah, blah.
Oh, yeah.
This is how I read. Blah, 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 blah. We're
I feel like I've
slaves
seen that
outlawed.
movie.
As such, at around 47 to 51 years old, even though he was at the time living in a non-free territory, he petitioned for his freedom on the grounds that when he was in those free territories, he should then have been automatically free. So it sounds like he should have been scot-free, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
You know what? Let's put it this way. I'm glad I shared it. I'm like, no, that's what it means. Everyone knows you fucking did it. Whatever. Point is, it's not. It's you're free of tax.
Yeah. We're going to go to bed smarter tonight.
We're going to bed together.
Yeah. It's a classy Airbnb we got here.
Yeah. So you and I went to lunch after that event that I was
That's right,
talking about.
yeah.
The TD event. I found out that morning that I was best friends with a millionaire, that I had ended a relationship. And the world was my oyster.
That's right.
And then what did we do? We went to Jack Astor's. We met up for lunch to talk a little bit about travel prep.
Yep.
We went to Jack Astor's where the server tried to kill me.
Yep. That's right. With the bread
Yeah.
of doom with butter
That's
all over
right.
it.
That's right. If you've been to Jack Astor's, they have like a garlic and cheese loaf. But she did right by us. So what they normally do is they normally have this like little skillet. They fill it with fucking this big bread loaf, cover it in cheese, and then pour garlic butter all over it. So you're just pulling bread out of this greasy. It's almost like there's like a French onion soup of butter grease underneath the bread. In this case, she actually put the butter on the side. So we were able to just have proper human bread and then dip it a little bit in garlic butter as we saw fit. Right? Giving us choice, allowing us to be the masters of our own destiny.
Correct.
But then I had like, dude, what was the burger? We both had the same burger for lunch.
It was the barbecue burger, the holy
yeah.
smoked barbecue burger.
Yeah, there we go. Cool. So we both had barbecue burgers, but I was already like, I don't want to eat too much. But then we had this bread and we had the fucking barbecue burgers. And I go, well, what side should I get? She's like, well, we got the usual shit. And I go, what do you recommend? She was cool. She had a good personality. Mm-hmm. She was very nice. But at the end of the day, I was just like, what do you suggest? I was so tired, dude. I've been up so early.
I know you've been up early.
So I was just like, you know what? Just what do you suggest? So she, of course, suggests all the upgrades. She's like, you should do the smoke burger with the blah blah blue, and then you should get poutine on the side. I'm like, fuck it, do it.
Yeah.
It was really good poutine.
That was good.
It was a super good poutine. They basically looked like they'd put it in a square pan.
Yeah, they do that. They make it sort of like instead of stacking it like you would, I think what they do is they have this like metal square thing that they kind of stuff it into.
Yeah.
And then they just, once it's all sort of set and like the cheese kind of has a chance to sort of settle a bit, they pull off that metal square, and then you have this like squared off mile high poutine right there.
Yeah, it comes like a square pie. I mean, it's a nice presentation. And then
Yeah.
you just mush the shit out of it all over the plate.
Yeah.
It was a good meal. I was full. We drank too.
Oh yeah, we did. We had a couple of beers.
Yeah, I got
Sure.
like I was going to say, I got a little, could have been one of the reasons why I was so fucking tired and full afterwards. I got one of those little sampler, glass boxes.
Paddles.
Yeah, they've got like 4 different local beers, all of which I've tried before. So I wasn't even sampling. I was just not committing to a single beer. It was a good time. We had a good lunch. Mm-hmm. We shot the shit about how the trip was going to go. Basically did a little bit of last minute planning about how we were going to get together.
That's right.
And fucking kick this motherfucker off. Just for the record, I just wanted to say I had a really good time. Actually, Wednesday night, Jason and Noreen were having a little date night. I came home at a reasonable time for a fucking change. And we sat and we played some card games and board games. We had a great time.
Yeah,
Magic.
Awesome.
Magic.
Not Magic. No, that was a different game.
No,
I'm
that's
sure.
a different game. I would never play that.
Yeah.
Thursday, that was last day, buddy. That was prep day. That was tomorrow. We're kicking off this fucking trip day. You know what I did? I drove Uber.
Yeah.
And I got a buddy who was in need of some electrical services. So I helped him do a little bit of wire. Yeah, it's electrical services. It's his kink. I hook his nuts up to a car battery. Just spark. It helps him feel alive. He was getting a divorce. So I had to shock his balls back into existence. No,
just to remind him he wasn't in charge of life anymore.
It was a short little thing. And then I spent the afternoon very slowly packing, cleaning up and packing, and just trying to do all the last minute anxiety prep for all the shit we had to bring. Kind of like this podcast equipment, But we had a good night. I picked you up. Took me forever to get to your house. And matter of fact, you had a show last night.
I did have that. I had a show. I wasn't going to do it, but one of my good friends, Peter, who's a up and coming. He's like a high school friend of mine who's been wanting to do comedy, and he knows a number of comics. He decided he's going to throw on his own show. It was pretty cool, and then he obviously invited me, and a number of good comics were on that night. And so we decided, hey, I'm going to go do that show. It just happened to be that it was like the night before we were leaving, so I was like, fuck it, I'm going to have to like go there and then immediately come over to the house and then go to sleep and then wake up the next morning to go to the airport. So
yeah,
it was a tight schedule all the way up until that point. It was a super tight schedule.
Well, and it's not been any less tight since we fucking started. Because basically, like I couldn't have done that the night before. There's no way I could have gone to a show. I'm like, I was going to go to the show with you. And then I'm like, I just have to go home and finish packing because I need to, everything systems check how early tomorrow's going to be. And of course, the same thing happened. So you came in, you went to sleep. We actually hung out for a little bit. I showed you all the fucking lame ass video games I've been playing.
That's right.
Oh, because I didn't realize what a rough fucking week was coming up. And I'm like, I could stay up to one. We had a few beers, passed the fuck out.
Yep.
And so just so everyone knows, Mikey lives on the Quebec side. So just in terms of us getting to the airport early in the morning, it made more sense for him to crash.
Yep.
So that's what we did. Had a fucking little prep, had some beers, had some sleep, and then boom, kick off for the flight early in the morning. We got to the airport like 7:30?
Yeah, we got up there at 7:30, and obviously the big question was security, right? So you never want to leave to get to an airport to the point where it's like that rush hour of the airport where you've got mass loads of people all trying to get in, and your flight's at like 9. And that's the thing I always learned. I've done enough traveling to know this. So if your flight's if it says it departs at 9, it means they're boarding at 8:30, if not 8:20. and you want to be there at the gate way ahead. I prefer to have myself some leeway time. So yeah, we got there fairly early enough, and thankfully, my worry obviously was that you had all this electronic equipment that you're gonna have to get through security with.
Yeah.
and
That's what I
having
was
to
freaking
unload
out.
and reload and unload and reload. And that's a lot of work. And so obviously they obviously want to make sure that it's not a bomb. We can say that now. We couldn't say that at the airport.
I said explosive. Like, whoa,
yeah.
the E word, sir, E word.
Yeah.
Because that was part of my big thing is when we got to the fucking air, like all 10 days, I called it practice packing, all that time before the fucking flight. I just kept going like, oh my, I was stressing out, guys, because I'm like, I have so much electronics. And you have to keep in mind too that you know, I can't come over here and do shows and effectively work. So
That's right. That's a concern.
yeah, all this equipment looks like I'm coming here to work. Like, what are you doing with all these microphones and recorders? And I have a bunch of other shit too. Like I have my little stand-up recorder and stuff. So tons of cords, cables, accessories, all this shit. It looks like I'm coming over here to do some fucking work. So I was worried that that was going to hold us up. And of course, too, in my preparation, I kept mixing up in my head customs and security.
That's right.
Thinking that they were kind of one and the same. Not yes and no. In my head, I was like, oh, fuck. You know, I kept saying, I'm not going to be able to clear customs. I'm not going to be able to clear customs. And you know, Jason would say, hey, well, no, you don't clear customs until you go here or there. And I'm like, well, no, they're not going to let me in the plane. So in my head, I kept thinking customs was security.
Right.
Right? I know what customs does, but I just kept messing it up in my head. So when somebody would tell me where customs was, I would think, oh, okay. And then I'm like, no, it's going to happen here. Because security was what was worrying me, was having to open up all my bags. And after meticulously packing cords, microphones, accessories, plugs, chargers, electronics, to have to pull them all out at the airport. Right. And I was maximizing the space. I put clothes in with all of this stuff, like socks and underwear and stuff. So I was worried that I was going to have to pull everything out of my bag and then put everything back in at the security line. Luckily, all they ever asked me to take out was my laptop and my iPad.
That's right. And that's what we were told. We did like anything above a phone,
Cell phone, yeah.
cell phone size, they're concerned about it. And I don't blame them. For them, it's like security, all they're concerned about is making sure you don't have a bomb on the plane and that you have electronics that are not going to blow up. That's all they give a shit about. And yeah, you're right. So we obviously were leaving from the Ottawa airport.
Yep, headed to Toronto, and that was fine.
Heading to Toronto, yeah.
We got through security particularly easily. It was kind of like shoes off, because I have these sneakers that are steel-toed. I don't know why I chose to fucking wear them. They're heavy. I thought, you know what I honestly thought? Like, you know how people strap like weights around their ankles and it like helps make them.
Yeah.
It's like you lose more weight because you're playing with resistance.
Right.
You know, I don't know why. I haven't been working out. I'm like, if I wear the heavy shoes and we're walking everywhere, I'm going to get more exercise. There's also plates in them, and I'm going through the airport a bunch of times.
Yeah.
So anyways, I took my shoes off, pulled my laptop out, my thing. Everything went great. And I'm like, easy peasy.
Yeah.
I felt a ton of anxiety and frustration, just worry leave me. But I'm like, you know what? We still haven't gone through customs yet. There's me people ask me, what the fuck are you doing? Why is this equipment all here? You never know. But we were convinced, both of us, I think it's fair to say, we were convinced that we were done with security. We were now behind security and we weren't going to have to go through security again.
Yeah.
Well, we got to Toronto and we had a big layover in Toronto.
Yeah, it was like I think we were there for like
4.5 hours. Yeah. So big layover in Toronto, but we did the smart thing before we started just relaxing and doing nothing. We're like, let's get through fucking
customs.
Let's get through customs. So let's go to the other side and then we'll figure it out on the other side. So when we get up to the customs line, I get a random security check. Lucky me.
Always.
So we have to go through I have to get pulled over and I pull all my shit out again. Right? It's nice and easy. Pull all my shit out again, get swabbed. I think I got swabbed.
You did get swabbed in Ottawa.
I got swabbed in Ottawa too.
Yeah.
And then I got swabbed again because of all of this. I think they were just trying to make sure that there was no bomb residue, which didn't make any fucking sense to me, because who blows up a bomb in their fucking travel bag and then puts another one in afterwards? Residue from a previous bomb. I don't know. Who cares? Whatever. They know what they're doing there. I get randomly picked, and you know why? Because I made eye contact with the security guy. Maybe he could tell my face that I was just anxious, and he's like, "Oh, fuck this motherfucker."
Should have winked.
But it was like a half second. We're just walking up. I look at him. He go, "You over here?" I'm like, "Wow, that was quick. That was really, really quick. Like that was quicker than when you're looking at a chick's boobs. She sees and you look away instantly. That guy was with quick eye contact.
He was on it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know why that's a metaphor I chose to use.
No.
It was quick. Pulls me over, same thing, and he's checking everything. He's being really nice. I told him I don't fly very often, so I'm trying to. He's like, okay, well, no worries. And I said, he goes, yeah, we just have to do this. It's the reason you want to take out the iPad and the thing is, just to make sure that it's not an explosive. And he goes, no, whoa, hey. Even you might be like, whoa. Don't say the E word. Don't say the E word. I go, okay, I can't even say it. I'm like, I wasn't saying this is an explosive. You were saying something, and I, trying to allude to it. I thought I was helping you finish a sentence.
Yeah.
And I go, no, you can't say it. I'm like, well, life's going to be really hard if there's words you can't use.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially if it's the words that describe things of importance.
That's the weird part. That's like there's certain words that are offensive that you can't say in any given, or in certain scenarios. But this word's not an offensive word. It's just a word, but it's said in a context of like, it's also the same reason why there's laws out there that you can't yell out in a theater fire. Right, there's that whole thing if you yell fire. In
I didn't know.
That's and it causes.
Should we look this up and spend 5 minutes on it?
No, we should. But I'm very confident about it. So yeah.
Oh, you and your fucking confidence. That's going to come up this week.
Yeah. We'll talk
okay,
about
so
that.
let's get to that.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to talk about the security thing real quick. This guy was good. I get through. We're in security. He starts. We got to go through another security line of customs.
Yeah.
So I go through security a third time, pulling all my shit out or whatever. I can't remember. There was a fourth time where I got stuck time, and I don't fucking remember what it was. But all I know is that I'm pulling all my shit out. I'm putting it all in different buckets. They keep asking me to take more stuff out. And here's the thing. Thank God Mike was there, because every time they ask me to put something through, like all my shit is on the other side of the conveyor belt now with a bunch of other people.
Yeah. I hate to do that.
I'm all by myself. Like if I was all by myself, I would have so much stuff, like my laptops, my shoes, everything has all gone through to the other side.
Yeah.
Along with other people's stuff. I don't know a really good way to describe it. There's kind of like 4 stations, and there's a tray, like a conveyor belt underneath with trays in it. You're supposed to grab a tray, put your shit in, and then it just keeps going down the line.
And we went through the express one too in Toronto, because I have, so to give you a heads up, I have a Nexus Pass, which for me is very useful when I was traveling a lot, because I'm always a carry-on kind of person. I always like going through security, and I'll get the Nexus Pass because it's like a fast pass at Disneyland to get through the airport. It's awesome, and it's worth the effort to go get one and get through the security check and everything to get it done. And if you're traveling enough in like I was back, a while back, I was traveling back and forth to the U.S. all the time, or even crossing the border. It's just way better. Yeah. And so you got to experience that when we got into Toronto, because we went through that first initial security check where Josh dropped the E-bomb, and then after that,
it's not a bomb.
I
dropped the EB.
Yeah, EB. And now you're right.
How funny was that?
Yeah.
Right?
I said the other word that we shouldn't say. And then I had my Nexus, so they both directed us, since we were together, to just go through that priority lane, and we ended up like skipping a massive line.
We did save time there, yeah. Only
wow,
like I
it's
said,
the wrong time to skip time.
These weird fucking conveyor belt things with boxes. So I can't, like I said, you just put like the first. If you have a few bags and you're pulling out laptops and stuff, I put my first bit of stuff in it, and it fucks off with it. And there's more people beside me doing the same thing. But it's all going on one conveyor belt through the machine.
That's right.
So it all comes out on the other end. But I had to walk through the thing, right? I don't know what. Did you have to walk through it too?
No, I didn't. So I didn't have to walk through the scanner machine. I thought the scanner machine was
human scanner. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that was and so they just made me go through. I didn't. I went through the metal detector. It was fine.
Yeah,
and
I forgot I had my Apple Watch on, and that's what it was. So they're why are you beeping? And I got my long sleeve hoodie on, and then all of a sudden I was like, oh, for fuck's sakes.
Yeah.
So I'm getting scanned, and all this time I'm pulling shit off different times into new buckets that are going through machine on the other side. And I'm like, I have my AirPods, my watch, my laptop.
There's all the stuff you had in your
grab
pockets.
my shit at any point and fuck off.
And that's what gets me is here we are at the end of a line. And there's security guys not looking. They don't give a shit. They're focused on people coming in and out, and all they're focused on is piling up these bins. And I know I myself had to use 3-4 bins just to fit all my stuff. I had my 2 bags, which each took up a bin. I had to take out all the liquids and put it separate so that they had to scan that, I guess, or inspect that. And then I had my laptop, my iPad, and my phone, and then and any of the contents of my pockets. So I was like, oh, okay, like that kind of adds up after a while. And so all these 3 bins. And Josh had him. I mean, he had like I'd say at least 5-6 bins, and of course they stop him at the security checkpoint, and all these bins are going through, piling up at the end.
Yeah,
nothing's to stop anybody from grabbing anything from those bins and just walking the fuck away, right? Like Like
Yep.
you're in the airport.
All they want to know is it safe going through the machine? They're not watching who's.
They're not
watches,
watching whose
whatever.
stuff is going where. If the stuff is not an explosive, they don't give a shit.
Yeah. So I finally decided. Luckily, Mike was there gathering
Yeah,
the shit up
yeah.
for me. Thank Christ. And there was a really nice security guy on the other end. He's like, "So what are you guys doing?" Like, I said, "I'm sorry, I'm taking up so much of your time." And this thing's like, no. They all kept saying the same thing. "Oh, I'm paid by the hour." Like it was them who would be an inconvenience. I'm more of like, "Sorry, I'm holding up the line of other people getting the fuck out of your hair because the more shit I have to put back on or put away and this and that, the more the bins back up."
That's right.
You know, so. Anyways, they were nice, but one kid was like, "What do you guys do?" We're like, "Oh, we're comedians. We're this and that." Oh my god! And I gave him a podcast card out of my
Yeah. Out of your bag.
suitcase because I was putting everything back in it.
Nice guy.
Yeah. So no, he's a good dude. I hope you listen to the podcast.
Yeah, I
man.
hope so.
I was really appreciate you being cool and making the whole experience a lot better.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it wasn't too bad. Of course, now Mikey had helped gather some stuff up, and I'm coming up behind him.
Yeah.
But I get halfway down the hallway, and I realize in my pocket I don't have my AirPods.
Yeah,
And
so I went through my customs line. So we went through customs at Nexus.
Yeah.
I get to go through. I say I get to go through and pass, and I don't really have to do anything. I just have to fill in the machine and get through, and then put my fingerprints in, and then boom, I'm right to the one guy that's watching, and he just says, "What are you doing here?" I'm like, "Pleasure, done. See you
Yeah.
later." You had to go through the pleb line.
Yep, and I got the random security check.
Of course,
that was the fourth one.
That was the fourth one. It was then. Yeah, they're pulling you off the side to ask you, and
lucky.
Yeah, and so I'm waiting on the outside, thinking, okay, and all that time, I even told him, like, when we were packing up all this stuff in the massive fury of packing up all this junk, I grabbed his AirPods and put them in my pocket and say, "I got your AirPods. They're gonna carry them."
And I didn't
didn't
hear it because I was
register?
focused on trying to get all my
Yeah,
shit back in my.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I get through customs at this point.
Oh, no, you're not even at custom. You're not even through. You're in lineup, and you're texting me, "Do you have
Yeah.
your AirPods?" Because
Yeah.
you didn't know if you had to go back to security.
to try to find in a bin a tiny
yeah.
little 1 by 1 inch
Yeah.
fucking.
Thankfully,
yeah.
I had them, so it's good.
Oh yeah, and I was panicking. That's what I do. I panic. But anyways, so yeah, managed to get through all of that. All said and done, we got to the other side, sat down. What a good little decompress. We're through security at that point.
Yep.
And then we had a fucking Wahlburger.
We went to Wahlburger.
That's
which is,
the
yeah, that's like the ugly Wahlberg brothers thing, right?
it's his thing.
Yeah, there's Donnie, there's Mark, and then
If you don't know that they have like an on the spectrum brother. He's not on the spectrum.
I
He
don't
looks
know.
like
He
he's
just
on the spectrum.
he looks unfortunate.
So you basically have like your Donnie Wahlberg, who was in New Kids in the Block.
Yeah.
He comes around, he's like, "What's up, other Wahlbergs?" or whatever. That's how I think.
Yeah.
That's how
That's
I
how
think
they
he
talk.
acts.
Hey, yo, dude, hey, how you doing?
Yeah. And then they got the littler one. You got Marky comes up. Marky goes, "I'm going to be Marky Mark,
Yeah.
and my bunch is funky."
How you doing? I got some Calvin Kleins.
Yeah. Yeah. He's just sort of like, "Hey, I can do this too. Come on, man." And then you have the other brother, right? So Marky Mark slowly starts to overshadow Donnie Wahlberg.
Yeah.
Donnie was the shit. And I remember when Marky Mark was around, Marky Mark was like the Emilio Estevez to the Charlie Sheen, right? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's kind of like, oh, he's got this brother who's kind of related to the family too. But then Marky Mark, what happens? He pulls ahead like a motherfucker. Just
Became
keeps
an
getting
actor.
more and more and more
Yeah.
prominent.
Yeah.
You're like, Jesus Christ.
So
And then they have a brother who's like, "I'm going to make it too. What are you making over there? Burgers."
done.
And they're like, "Okay.
Okay. Here's some money.
And when are you going to be an actor? Do you want to do burger commercials?"
I wonder
Is
what
that
his name is. Probably something like Jeff.
Steve Wahlberg.
Steve
It's just
Wahlberg.
Steve.
Dave Wahlberg.
Steve is like, to me, Steve is like the mechanic, the fucking greaser, that is just
Yeah.
the ultimate. I'm sorry, I have an uncle named Steve.
Yeah.
But it's just like and trust me, he fits the description. It's just that ultimate like duh guy is Steve.
And so we had a burger, and a
Hey,
burger
I'm
only.
trying to stick with the Steve thing here.
Yeah,
No, I'm just
fine.
joking. No, we had burgers,
Yeah.
completely underwhelming.
Yeah, and I love how they don't include sides. So I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, and they're like, what's the side? They're like, oh, you can have salad or fries extra. And I'm like, I don't fucking
Yeah,
pay for salad.
$12 bagel. Yeah, which is funny because you totally paid for a salad at the Jack Astor's. I had a mountain of goddamn poutine.
I didn't pay for salad that
You
day.
did. Well, you sure that you picked it as a side? That means you paid.
Oh
for it,
no,
motherfucker.
what I'm saying is if it's included as a side, and I've had the choice between fries and a salad, I'm gonna pick a salad.
You have caveats.
Yeah, kavits. And then yeah, but otherwise, this place is like, oh, you can have just the burger and you don't get the side included, and you're actually gonna have to deliberately select from the menu a salad. I'm like, go fuck yourself. No, this should be included.
Right?
I'm making a healthy choice here. Not with your burgers, but with everything else. No, forget it.
Right?
Yeah, it's stupid.
It was like,
Yeah.
let's put it this way. We finally get on the plane.
Yeah.
Okay. We wait because
long
someone has not,
Oh, right.
someone is running late.
Yeah.
I don't know who this someone is, but they're running late. So we're going to patiently wait for them. So we wait. Realistically, time is very hard, especially when you're frustrated to estimate clearly.
Mm-hmm.
But what would you say? 15, 20 minutes realistically we wait for this
I think it was
person?
longer than that. I think it was half an hour.
Really? We waited
Yeah.
half an hour?
We were on
hour?
the tarmac for a long time.
Yeah.
We're still at the boarding gate for a long time. And I felt like forever. Like I know at least I had to be able to watch at least one episode of Glow.
Okay. Because I don't know how long it was. All I know,
Yeah.
now are you talking about the whole wait process?
Yeah, from the
Okay.
time when we boarded.
I was referring to when
to-
they told us like
Yeah,
what we
yeah,
were
yeah,
doing.
yeah.
So they're like, we're going to wait for this person. And then I felt like it was like 15 or 20 minutes later, they say, well, this person, that doesn't, is this a fair statement?
Yeah.
You've been more airports than me.
Yeah.
Is there any airport that would take longer than 20 minutes to go from one side to the other?
Yeah, absolutely.
Really? It would
Oh,
take
yeah, yeah.
longer than 20 minutes?
Yeah. If you go to Chicago O'Hare and you need to be at a, so I remember once I was like, oh, I'm gonna be at O'Hare and I'm gonna walk from one end of the airport to the other, and I did it. And I go to the airport and I walk all the way to the other end. And I'm like, oh, wicked! I made the whole airport. When people talk about this airport being so big, and then finally when I get to the other end, I get to the boarding and I look and I depart and I look and I'm like, that was one wing of the airport.
And it took you 20 minutes?
It took me at least 20, 25 minutes to get that one wing. And there
Were you meandering or you fucking?
No, I
poking
was walking a good pace.
Okay, so then it's not completely weird. I just thought with the airports that I've seen, I've only seen like 5
Yeah.
of them, that I'm like, a lot of them are big, but I'm like,
Yeah.
20 minutes.
But that was the Delta wing, right? I think it was Delta. And there's another one. There's like other airport carriers that have there. So if you were like doing like a transfer, you're going from like United to whatever. I don't know. It happens. I mean, there's times in Air Canada will offset to offload to United, and so you'll be going into the Air Canada International Airport, and then you'll be having to take a local United. That means going out of the airport into a shuttle.
Really?
Taking a shuttle that takes at least 10, 15 minutes to get to the other side. And once you're at the other side, then you get back through security.
Oh,
Right. And then from there, you got to run over to the gate.
okay. So it's not
a
just
pain in the
it's not
ass.
just running through a fucking.
Yeah.
Okay, so well, I
That can
figured
happen.
20 minutes was at least okay in the Toronto airport. 20 minutes you can get.
Yeah, Toronto's well. I
So-
mean, I hate Pearson as an airport in general, but at least Toronto, they've done a lot better since the last. Like,
Yeah.
when I
but
first
you can
started
get
flying.
from one end to the other in 20 minutes.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah. So
yeah.
we're sitting there for 20 minutes waiting for these people to get on the fucking plane, and they never do.
Hmm.
Okay, so we're already kind of a little late setting up. At least they communicate with us. We're waiting for people. Okay, they're on their way. They're coming. Okay, well, 15, 20 minutes later, they say, okay. Unfortunately, you know what? The thing is, we've decided we're going to take off without these people.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, their bags have already been loaded onto the plane,
that's
so
right.
we're going to have to wait while we unload the bags and blah blah blah. And I'm thinking, okay, so these people must have checked in at this airport if their bags are on the fucking plane.
Right.
Okay. Alternatively, like how did their bags get here, but they didn't, and with an extra 20 minutes. Anyways,
I don't know airport
Whatever.
operations. That's
I don't either. But
who
it
knows?
just seemed odd to me. If you've been in the airport, you've checked your bags, and you still haven't got to the plane, what are you doing? What the fuck?
Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah.
in the air, I watched 2 movies. I watched Incredibles 2, thumbs down, and I watched Rampage with The Rock and giant monkey animals,
Right.
thumbs down.
Thumbs down for both.
Waste my time.
Yeah.
Terrifying flight. Super. I don't fly well because it's the loss of control thing. You guys already know I'm insane, so I didn't fly well. Well, I flew okay, but I was
Yeah,
nervous.
You're okay.
I was nervous.
We hit turbulence.
You hit
And
turbulence. Scared
yeah,
the shit out of me.
yeah, and I'll tell you what, I've had worse turbulence than that. It was
I forgot about the turbulence.
Yeah. It's, but we like even the pilot after the fact told us that he had gone at a much higher altitude than you normally would, and that's because you get to hit the airstream or the slipstream, and then that makes it like you end up way smoother air up there.
Yeah.
And so that's probably but it's from what he said, it slowed us down. So we ended up landing late.
Yeah.
Way later. I think we were an hour later than what we would have normally been landed at.
I don't know what Mark's messaging me here.
Okay.
He goes, man, I'm an idiot. I was booked on that show yesterday, LOL, and showed up. I don't know.
Mark.
Oh, that was supposed to be. He said yesterday. It was supposed to be tonight. Whatever. Sorry.
Okay,
Side
don't
note,
worry
guys.
about
A buddy of mine. Real quick thing.
That. Yeah.
Real quick thing. Yeah, a friend of mine looks like he was at a show with Krista Allen. Krista Allen is one of the most gorgeous women in the entire world. As far as I'm concerned, I've had a crush on her since Married with Children days. If you don't know who Krista Allen is, she has been in a lot of things. But she was for a lot of people would know her most as the woman with big boobs in the Jim Carrey movie Liar Liar when he walks in and he talks to her. But she's been in a ton of things, scary movies, all sorts of other things. She was in Anger Management. She played one of the two lesbians, her and January Jones, I believe.
Okay, January Jones, yeah.
Yeah. So two amazing. Anyways,
cool.
I love Krista Allen. She is apparently a comic now here in Los Angeles doing stand-up comedy. She was at a show. She was going to be on a show this evening. I think they got the date wrong in the poster. That's what I'm gathering from what Mark said. So I'm like, oh, that show was last night. I missed it. Anyways, we were debating, do we sit down and do this podcast now, or do I go tell one of my lifelong crushes that I love her? Dude, how much would it suck if she was garbage at comedy and I had to pretend and pander to her? Because I couldn't help myself but pander and be like, oh my God, you were great.
You just tell her after you sleep with her.
I can't sleep with her. I couldn't.
No, you couldn't, eh?
I think she's got kids and like that's the only thing stopping me. She's got kids.
Yeah, she's got
I mean, if she didn't have a boyfriend, I'm a catch. I just would love to have met her and been like, oh my God, do you have any idea how many times I have donated a few ounces of my protein
but Ellie's
to
weird
your
like
cause?
That. Yeah, we're gonna get around to that. We've been meeting some interesting people.
Oh yeah, we'll get there.
Amazing, yeah.
I do want to say this. While we were in the air, we had angels of flight attendants.
Yeah, they were awesome.
They were fucking awesome. And every time they would come and bring us something, I was like, well, not every time. The first time I asked, I said, hey, can I the machine that I paid for my drinks and they didn't give me the option to tip you. And they said, we can't accept tips. I go, you can't accept tips? Why not? This is food service or whatever. They're like, oh my God, you're so nice. I'm like, what do you mean I'm so nice? I can't be the only person asking. They're like, yeah, other people don't. I go, are you kidding me? They're like, no, we're not allowed to take tips. I go, even if I insist. They go, no, we're not allowed. That's very sweet and be very kind. And I'm like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
I'm like, if you're like, no, we don't take tips. I'm like, okay. Like, but to the fact that they seemed so surprised that nobody ever even tries to tip them.
No one thinks that.
Blows my mind.
Yeah.
Because it's food. When is every other context where someone's bringing you food?
You know what it is? I think it's people feel entitled because they spent a lot of money on their ticket. And they also,
how much money you spend for a fucking Sens ticket or a basketball or baseball ticket, and you still expected to tip and stuff like that in the restaurants there?
But yeah, people are flying. They're nervous. They spent a lot of money to travel, and then they go ahead and look at the menu, and they're not serving anything. And so they're like, you got to buy from if you want, like a drink, an alcoholic drink. Like we actually bought stuff from their little menu, as opposed to the cookies and coffee. That
was so good.
Yeah, those are good. We actually bought stuff to eat, which is great. It is what it was. But yeah, I guess they look at those prices and they're like, "Fuck, I'm not tipping on this shit. I spent this much for the ticket. This should be included." I'm echoing what I think a lot of people
100%. I'm just surprised.
I don't believe
I'm
that.
So surprised
because at the end of the day, they're still giving it to you, and they're doing it in a way that, at the same time, not only they're doing that, they're also making sure you're safe. They're also making sure you know where the exits are, and in the event of an emergency, they can get you executed, out of the airplane as fast as possible.
Dude, like pizza joints now. Pizza joints, you walk in and say, I'll have a slice. And you pay with debit or credit. There's that little fucking coffee shops.
Uber. You get a tip with Uber now.
That I get because tipping cabs has always been a thing. But I'm saying what's seemingly new is like the whole idea with this, like tips.
Yeah.
Now, this could be very, you know what? Fuck it. This one I might actually have to Google as well. But let's see origin of tips.
Oh, there's a great video that talks about tipping and how it's related to slavery.
Really?
Yeah, I saw that on the social media boxes, and they describe how tipping allows someone to have a low wage, and on its surface it talks about you're rewarded based on your your ability to work well and perform a service properly, right? It's like, reward based on the work you do. But typically, people of color who are, former slaves at the time, I think it was a system. It's correlating that to that, and it's there's a whole discussion over how tipping is kind of racist in some way.
Well, okay. So here you go. They have it. It Okay, so this actually is not using English properly. This is what I was going to say. I heard that TIPS is an acronym for to ensure proper service.
I don't.
Or
is that
prompt.
true?
Well, here's the way. It's you don't insure. Right,
Yeah.
because an insurance is you pay it in advance.
Right. Ensure.
Ensure, so it should be TEPS.
Like the little drinks my grandfather drinks.
Right. So here's what I got for the origin of the word tip, as in leaving a tip. It says, you may have heard, is this the same place as before? Today I found out, I'm going to start using this fucking website a little bit. Good for them.
Good for them.
You may have heard the few 100-year-old definition of tip as referring to gratuity comes from to ensure promptness, is what it says here.
Okay.
They say prompt service or proper service because of the S in the end, or similar backronyms they call it. That's a new one for me. But this isn't correct. In fact, pretty much any time you've ever heard of a word that originated before the 20th century coming from an acronym, you can be almost certain that it isn't true. I've got my screen brightness turned way down. So, as linguist Davis Wilton said, the real origin of the word tip is a bit more obscure than that. In terms of the gratuity definition, it most likely comes from a popular form of speech among thieves, beggars, and hustlers called the thieves' cant, also sometimes called rogues' cant, which across in Great Britain several hundred years ago with the primary aim of keeping non-thieves and the like from being able to fully understand what the thieves were talking about. An example of this kind of talk taken from the vulgar tongue is as follows.
So is this the origin of the word
think,
or
yeah,
the
it's the-
use of it?
I don't know.
That's the question, right? Like you can talk about the word itself. Okay, yeah, tips comes from blah, blah, blah. The actual think of it as
this
a
is-
modern interpretation of the North American usage.
It sounds like it's
Yeah.
like slang or code, because
Yeah.
it says an example of this kind of talk taken from the vulgar tongue is as follows. I buzzed a bloke and a shakester of a reader and a skin. My jommer stalled.
I
A cross cove. I'm fucking lost as hell. A cross cove who had his regulars called out cop bung. So as a pig was marking. I spieled to the crib.
Right.
When it's crazy. It says translation. I picked the pocket of a gentleman and a lady of a pocketbook and a purse. So it just sounds like, okay, so it's slang. So it says one such slang word in this thieves' cant was tip, meaning to give or to share.
Right.
So the first documented usage of tip this way dates back to 1610. At some point within the next century, it's almost over. This sense of the word spread to being used by non-thieves as referring to money given as a bonus for services rendered.
Yeah, that weird thief talk. I think we got a glimpse of that the last time when you ever watched. I think it was Ocean's 12.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when Matt Damon tries to speak thief talk, and good job. Tries to speak thief talk, and then he messes it up. Right? Do you remember that? There's like a scene in that. Okay. Yeah, there's a scene in when whatever. I have to remember.
Tell the story.
I'm trying to remember. So I think it's Brad Pitt, George Clooney are at a fence. A fence being someone who buys stolen stuff and then gives them a reward for it and so forth, and then they're trying to talk to this guy and then they're using code language and Matt Damon tries to speak it and fucks it up and insults his mother or something to that effect. It's like a comedic relief in some way, but you're right. The I think there was especially in the UK there was an actual.
Like
thief
thieves'
talk,
tongue?
yeah, thieves' tongue with like expressions that they'd use at that time.
That's pretty
I'm sure,
cool.
yeah.
Well, that's. I mean, just for
That's the
what
only
the sake of it,
reference I have,
is trying to tip someone to give like a little bonus.
To give back.
I was bitching about the reason I brought up the tips and the definition of it was because now that coffee shops, well, maybe not as much coffee shops. The coffee shop thing bothers me.
Right.
I don't like when I walk into a pizza place and I'm like, hey, I'll have a slice. They grab it, throw it in a thing, and I go to pay for it, and it's like tip.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? I don't know. Like I have zero problems tipping a delivery guy because he's supposed to be
Going out of
prompt.
his way. He's doing service. Yeah.
He's got to make it there. His efforts to get here faster and everything like that. But to be tipping automatically on pickup, like I'm picking it up and I'm paying you for it.
Yeah.
If you were serving, I don't know. I don't want to get on a fucking
Yeah,
soapbox about it. I'm not going to lose my mind, but I just mean that I find it weird that everything now has a tip, and probably because I feel guilty. As soon as I see that screen, there's no part of me that ever just fucking skips it. I'm
Yeah,
giving
you almost
50
have to.
cents on a $2 cup of coffee because it's prompting me right there. I don't mind tipping occasionally if I'm talking to a barista, like let's say Starbucks,
Yeah.
and they suggest a different kind of drink. They have to explain 4 different things on the menu to me because I'm like, what's in that? What's in this? You know what I mean? If it's extra effort, then that's for me again a gratuity on top of that.
That's right.
Whatever. You guys tell me if you're fucking pissed
Yeah.
about all these places. Like,
See if we should be tipping air flight attendants if it's worthwhile.
I think so because
Yeah.
they're stuck on their feet for like
They are.
that fucking 30-minute walk from that cart to go from one end of the plane to the other. And again, it's food, so
Yeah.
you are cooking it. They're also doing the work for you. That's the part that
Even if they don't take it, let's just say this: like even if they don't take it as tips, why not take that money and donate to charity or something? Right? Sounds that odd. I don't know. Like I feel the reason probably why they don't accept tips is because they get a fair wage, a very good wage to do what they do.
Do they?
Yeah, the air flight attendants get paid very well for what they do.
That's good then.
And good on them, I guess. But
I just appreciate the extra, like I said, like
Yeah.
that you pour a cup of coffee or grab a slice and throw it in the thing, and you go,
Yeah.
here you go. Where's my tip? I think that's a little much. These people are pouring the drinks and they're getting you snacks. They're cooking
Yeah.
your food. You know what I mean? I don't know. I thought it was weird that they looked at me like I had 3 heads for trying to tip because every other place is like looking. I guess my point is that every other place is looking for ways to get more tips out of you for less and less shit. Whereas the flight attendants, you try to tip and they're like, oh my God, that's so nice. So what happened? They gave us free,
Twizzlers.
they went and they found Coke. They ran out of
Yeah,
Coke,
yeah,
but
yeah,
yet they
yeah.
found extra Cokes for us because they liked
They
us.
somehow found it. Yeah.
And then they came and gave us a free bag of Twizzlers just for being sweetie pies and trying to, I was like, is there somewhere where I can say thank you and, give you guys 5 stars or something like that? And they're like, oh my God, that's so sweet. She came back. She's like, you just go on the thing, you do this.
Yeah.
Here's your little free Twizzlers for us. So there we
They were
go.
awesome, man.
Little sweetie
They
pies
were
and
awesome.
our in-flight angels were giving us
Yeah.
some little bit of a little bit of a bonus. We got it to our airport. We found Uber,
Yep.
relatively easy. This Uber guy. All right, I put a note in the. Did I put a note in here?
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah, I did. We'll talk about that later. We took an Uber. Dude was great. Mikey and him had the same terrible taste in music.
Terrible.
I'm just
Come
kidding.
on.
No, Mike and him it was great because I got off the plane, dude, so tired.
Yeah. You had your mental. You were mentally drained.
Yeah, mentally drained from all the
Yeah.
fucking security checks and wondering if I was going to get to this goddamn place in one piece. But I'm in the backseat of the Uber. I roll down the window and immediately the fucking air quality screwed me up. I remember my throat was getting sore.
It'll hit you. Yeah, it's rough. And I know right away you were asking. You're like, oh, am I getting sick because I just went through an airport and
Yeah,
I
is it
had
the
the
air
same
quality
thing, and
here?
it's just that exactly. You get here and you get the air quality hits you. It's smog, it's heat, it's humidity, and everything kind of all tied in together. It's just a dirty place, especially near the airport.
Yeah.
It'll really affect you.
Well, we got to see all sorts of cool shit on the drive up from the airport to
Yeah.
our Airbnb. It was easy peasy. The guy was nice. The driver was a nice fella. What did we do? I'm taking a look and see what we did here. Just my notes because we had so much. Oh, we stopped here very briefly. We had one key,
Great.
and I put that in the talking points
Yeah, okay.
just for something interesting. But we had one key that got us in.
Yeah.
So that was going to be an issue because if we split up at all, we
Yeah,
had no way
we're
into the
screwed.
fucking building.
Yeah.
And also we had to find the car, our friend's car that we were going to do.
That's
So-
right.
So night one, we finally get our Airbnb. We're like, all right, well,
All
let's
right,
go get this
find
car.
And so yeah, this is a friend of ours. Very happy, a friend of mine that I met last time I came here. Her name's Liz Glazer. Big shout out to Liz Glazer, a very very funny comedian here in LA. And she runs an open mic at the Venador Cafe, is where I met her. And through contacts from her, she'd post on our Facebook that she was going back home to New York, and that where she was living, she needed to be able to move her car because she only has a street parking permit that allows her to have her car in one spot for 24 hours at a time. So, I messaged her. She asked if anyone would be willing to take her car while she was out of town. And so I messaged her. I said, "Hey, listen, the dates kind of match up. You're leaving the 17th. I get there the 19th. I'm willing to take care of your car. I have our Airbnb has parking." And sure enough, yeah, exactly. And pretty much lined up perfectly. We were just like, yeah, we're going to have a car while we're here, which changed the game. It totally changed everything because I was expecting to have to take Airbnb from West Hollywood anywhere. And you know, we would have been limited to West Hollywood effectively because, you know, you don't want to be spending $30, $40 to go somewhere and back just to be able to get to Burbank or get to NoHo or whatever area we're going, even Hermosa or so forth. So, yeah, I just opened
Well,
up.
we couldn't. The big issue with
Yeah.
it was that the very first night, once we dropped off our shit here, we're like, okay, problem
Yeah.
one, we're going to need to get another key cut for this Airbnb.
Right.
And number two, we got to go get this car.
Yeah, and so the challenge was Liz wanted to mail me the key, and she was thinking of doing it like the night before, doing like an overnight. She was going to leave on the 17th, and the guy at the FedEx was like, "There's no way that's going to get through without getting stopped at customs." And I'm like, "Ah, crap." So I just told her, I said, "Hey, listen, find a spot to hide it, and I will, you know, I'll just like if there's a place to hide the key, and then I'll find it, and then I'll just grab her car, and we'll go from there." Well, because of all the delays and the assholes who took their sweet ass time getting to the airport and all that stuff to their flight, we were delayed about an hour by the time we landed, and by the time we took an Uber over to our Airbnb and checked in, and
It was dark.
it was dark,
Fucking dark.
It was dark. So we got to the location where the car was. We found the car because
Yep.
I mean she described it well.
Easy peasy.
It's just it was so dark, and we had lights on our cell phones trying to figure out where this key was, and we assumed where it was.
Yeah, it's like someone took a. So here's the thing. It was. She sent the description to you the following day, but here's
That's
where
right.
it was. We're in the dark. There's a bush
Yeah.
along this fence.
Yeah.
And she took a picture of a section of it,
Yeah,
like at the ground level. The only thing is, this section was kind of indistinguishable from other sections.
Yeah.
And we thought that it was like her original description was like it's like right at the front.
closer to the sidewalk.
Yeah, closer to the sidewalk. So we were looking at the first 12 inches because even in the picture there was a little flower that looked identical, blah blah blue. We were searching around. Mikey's digging. He was on his hands and knees.
Yeah, it was.
Digging through the dirt underneath the bush, looking for where because we thought maybe she hid it underneath the leaves or whatever. Well,
Yeah.
there was a woman across the street walking her dog, looking at two guys just walk up the street, stop, start digging under a hedge with flashlights and things like that. And I'm like, I don't know. we
this
spent
looks
like
sketchy. Yeah,
we spent a good 10 minutes
Yeah.
there, and after a while, I'm like, I don't want these people. We're in Los Angeles.
We might get the cops called.
Yeah,
in
I don't want
a second.
someone
We
calling
don't
the
know.
cops, someone
Yeah.
running out with a shot going, get the fuck off my.
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah,
if they talk like that here. I think that's Alabama.
No.
But the idea is it was sketchy as fuck, and we're just like, screw it.
Yeah.
Let's ditch it for tonight. We'll figure it out another time. So we ended up going to the Comedy Store.
That's right.
As a matter of fact, no, we went to Pinch's Tacos.
Yeah, first things first.
very first thing. We were hungry.
We got settled into our Airbnb, took our showers and got ready. And yeah, it started our first night. And this is where I've been before. And I got a kind of an understanding of where I was going from here. And I said, yeah, you know, there's a taco place. If we're in California, we're in Southern California, you have to try tacos. That's what everyone tells us. So I tried this place called Pinch's Taco. It was recommended to me, and it's on Sunset.
Yep.
Apparently the place that everyone goes to, I mean, automatically is a place called Pink Tacos. And it's this big, boutique place. It's a nice location, and they serve beer, but everyone I know, at least even people I met at the Comedy Store and asked, they said, yeah, don't go to Pink's. Pink's is where the tourists go. Pinch's is where you want to go. That's the place that has the best tacos. And so sure enough, that's where we went.
Yep.
And so
Delicious.
Yeah.
I'm going to see if I think we got the carnitas.
Yep.
The pollo mole. Or whatever.
Pollo mole.
And what was the third one that we got the first night?
You
got a different one and I got a different one.
And I got the
I mean, not that anyone knows what these words mean in Canada, but we got like chicken, pork, beef.
Yeah.
I got like a beef
you
one.
got the beef. I got another
Guys,
pork
I
one.
can't even tell
was
you
awesome.
how good these tacos are. It's like fresh, handmade, in-house.
Yeah.
Little not tortillas. Is it tortillas? Or
Yeah.
taco shells? I
Yeah.
guess? They're
They're
not even like
tortillas.
shells. They're just nice.
They're
little
just these
tortilla.
corn
Oh my God.
tortillas that are just phenomenal.
Fucking handmade, delicious.
Yeah.
Then you get this amazing in-house made proper meats and everything. Here, best price $3 each. The
Yeah.
price is amazing.
Yeah.
Then they're like, well, these ones come with fresh this vegetables and those sauces and this. I was like, oh, amazing.
Throw it all in. And beans
It was
and
great.
rice
yeah,
as well.
and it comes with beans and rice, and I
Yeah.
fucking love it. It's just delicious Mexican Coke.
Mexican,
Hi-yo.
yeah. So I went straight for the. It was, yeah, you got to do it. You got to
Yeah.
get that big glass bottle that they have, and
Yeah.
it's just the whole part of the package.
They used to call them, I think, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if I just think it's maybe they're not the right size, but they used to call them knee highs way back in the days. I would put on a knee high soda because it's like tall, right? It's like 1.5 feet tall.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
makes sense.
So it's a knee high soda. So it was kind of cool. Like you don't see those big glass bottles in
No.
Canada anymore. So they brought back the tiny little retro
little ones?
Like it's
Yeah.
impressive. Yeah, right. So we had our meal. We wander over to the Comedy Store.
Yeah.
Immediately, some of the doormen recognized Mikey right away from
Yeah.
the last time he was here.
Yeah.
They welcomed us into the back. Let us go out into the main room.
Yeah, that's the beauty of the Comedy Store is once you know that you're a comic, you get a bit of leeway. Like it's run by comics. Everyone there is a comic, so it's nice. And sure enough, yeah, some of the door guys recognized me from when I was there back, and we had a little chat. And sure enough, when we get to the back door, which is where I guess the magic happens in my mind, you either go on the patio or go to the back door. And as long as you know the door guy in the back door, you have access to all three rooms.
Yep.
And so I think we ended up going to see the.
We saw the main room show. I don't even know what it's called, but
Yeah.
Ari was closing it down. Ari Shafir.
Ari Shafir was there. He was closing it out. He was doing great. That was in the main room. We had room in the back. They said on it was a Friday night. Or was it
Friday night.
Friday
man.
night.
Travel day, guys. We were up at.
Man,
I
that was
woke
tough.
up at 5:00 that morning.
Yes, yeah. I was up at 6:30 as
Or
well.
I think no. You know what? I was wrong.
You're
I was up
4.
at 4:00.
Yeah, you were up at 4.
I don't know, 4 something, because I remember waking up watching
Yeah.
an episode of Making a Murderer
Yeah.
2,
Yeah.
which we'll talk about later. We don't have to go into it. Don't worry. This is like, dude, we're crushing it right now.
Yeah, good.
In terms of giving content, guys, we're an hour and 5 minutes into the podcast.
Yeah, we're good.
And we still are just talking about the day we've
We're
traveled.
this is the first day we've landed.
We've still
here,
got
guys.
4
You have
fucking
no idea
days.
what's happened since then.
Yeah.
So we I think the first night we got access to the main room. We sat in the back in the main room, watched a couple acts, got to see the closing out of Ari Shafir and his new set, which is really good, really good.
It was actually very, very impressive.
Yeah, and then after that, we ended up at another show,
Yep.
which was John Campanelli's show.
Yep.
I'm not gonna knock it. So I'll say this.
I can't. Can
Yeah.
I? Can I knock it?
Yeah. So no, I'm not gonna knock John.
No, you
but-
give your feedback and then I'll give
Yeah,
mine.
so it's in. So we ended up going in the belly room, and in the belly room, as you know, there's sort of like fringer shows are more harder to get on show. They're just a little less established shows, so that you have a smaller crowd, more niche market kind of shows. And so John Campanelli, I know him through the Guys We Fuck podcast. He's been a long time guest, and I had met him before the last time I was here in LA with him and Corinne Fisher, who had came in and done the Nacho Bitches show. So he was on that show. So I was like, oh yeah, John Campanelli, I'll definitely come see him. And I was like, that's kind of cool. And so we end up at this show, and then there's obviously an opener and a host. And the host was this girl named Emily. And then there was a couple other. And I'll say this for like a Friday night show. In the belly room, I don't know what I know. Josh and I were both looking at each other. Maybe it's because we had been traveling for so long and we were expecting like high caliber comedy all at once. But yeah, it was amateur hour. It was absolutely amateur hour right off the bat. And we were both looking at each other, being like, "Is this what a Friday night show at the Comedy Store is like?" And I have to admit, I didn't look good because I was like, yeah, that's definitely not the caliber that we normally see on a Friday night. But it was nice. I mean, I will say the girls that went up are kind of cute, though. They were.
I didn't. Okay, so here's the thing.
Yeah.
Dead tired.
Dead tired.
Dead
yeah.
tired.
Yeah.
The kind of tired where I'm out in public,
Mm-hmm.
I'm at a show, and I am literally, I know that word gets used incorrectly and way too often, but I was literally falling asleep
Yeah.
in this show. And I kept waking up and I'm like, oh fuck, I'm still at the show. Like, and I my first night in LA, I'm super overwhelmed because at this point I've already seen Ari Shafir. I've already seen a few other comics sort of wandering around that I know. So already like monster comics.
I think the big thing
Like a
for
comedy
you
festival.
was that you just went through all that anxiety of travel.
Oh, I was toast.
Yeah,
I
mean,
used up
you
everything I
used a
had.
lot of labor and a lot of like energy traveling. That's a bit. I mean, that's a big jump. Like
Just
that's
the-
huge.
The excitement of being at the store
Yeah,
was
for the
was
first time.
gave me some of a kick, but during that show, like sitting up in that room, that was definitely the smallest room. I don't even know if I've set foot in that room again since that show, to be honest with you.
Yeah, no, you did.
Did I?
Yeah, you saw me last night.
That's not in the belly room.
Oh, you mean the belly room?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm saying. We haven't set. I have
Yeah,
not
we haven't
set
set foot in,
that
yeah,
room.
there's been no
since.
good shows, and I will say that. Oh shit, is that tonight? Yeah, the roast battle would have been tonight. That was probably the. You know what? It's still going on. So we
Well,
probably,
I hope you can make it.
I'm gonna try to make it to the roast battle for sure. Because, but yeah, that's when it gets packed,
Yeah.
and that's when it like that room is perfect for.
It
roast
was a
battle.
good room. It just didn't feel like
Not
the
that.
comic because it's a small room.
Yeah.
it feels like a little side room. So the idea was it was an amateur show. It was a show. It was definitely amateurs, and it was a bringer show.
Yes.
And for anyone who doesn't know what that means, it means the comics bring their own people
Yeah.
to watch the show. You have to bring people in order to get on it. So they had people in the audience. It was a reasonable amount of audience, but the people who were going up were like, you could tell they were new.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
No.
Everyone's got to grow. But I'm like, I'm watching this. I'm watching the host. The host, Jesus, I don't think she's ever going to hear it. I'm not trying to be a piece of shit, but the host is inexperienced. I later found out from like her Instagram profile and everything like that, that she's someone who's sort of like more of a personality and more of like, it's funny when you can see someone's got on their Instagram feed, they've got videos and they've got pictures. And when the pictures are all of them like trying to do sexy model poses, and then the videos are all like goofy, silly, sketchy kind of things. I'm like, I think this is somebody who wants to use this platform to become a movie star or something like that.
Something,
This is
yeah,
not
or
somebody-
a personality, interview personality, host personality.
yeah.
that
You know what?
kind of thing.
I'll tell you this, guys. Let me tell you this. Rather than giving a review that might get me in trouble, I'm going to say this host did what you would think someone who basically does Instagram modeling and sketch videos did in terms of hosting a comedy show.
Yeah.
Not a bad person.
No.
I'm not shitting on the person. I didn't even talk to this person, as a matter of fact. But basically, it was kind of like it was very shotgun. Whatever. You know what? Everyone's out here chasing dreams. Why am I being an asshole? Because I'm fucking exhausted. Here's where we're at.
So
All right, we
first
come
night
back
in.
to the fucking and you stayed, you cocksucker.
I know. So I still had energy. I think I was relaxed, and I think every time I come here, that's the thing. I feel a lot more energy just because I want to be at the store. I feel like I'm missing out if I'm not out there, and that's the tough thing. It's especially I try to maximize on everything here. Either you're at the store, or you're at some other comedy club, but everything's happening late night, and just sticking around. And just meeting people and talking to people is the best thing in the world. You can just being hanging out as a comic at the comedy store is probably one of the best feelings ever.
It's it's pretty spectacular. I
Yeah.
gotta be honest. Like I had a great time, but I just had to wander down, get an Uber or whatever.
Yeah, you were-
And
you
that
were
I was
dead,
toast.
yeah.
If you're falling asleep, you
Yeah.
know, on your feet and or at a show,
Yeah.
like they'd kick me out because they thought I was drunk.
And there's a 3
They
hour
didn't, but I'm just saying like they would see me and kick you out because they think
and there's
you're
a
drunk.
3 hour time difference that we're dealing with
Yeah.
too, right? So we're by this point, I don't know when you left, but it was probably about
I left at 1 o'clock in the
1
morning.
a.m. this time.
Yeah, which means it would have been about 4 a.m. back home. Like in terms of how many hours I was
Right.
awake, it's
24
4 a.m. I was up for 24 straight
That's crazy.
fucking
Yeah.
hours. Yeah,
I know that feeling.
So had a blast.
Yeah.
Saturday, we headed back to the car
Right.
3 times because Mike is shit with directions.
Right.
So I can't tell you how grateful I was. Like the amount of apologizing I did and thanking Mike for taking the bull by the horns on travel day by dealing with my sort of anxiousness. Like I don't think I was unbearable, but I'll be honest, I was embarrassed at just asking so many questions about airports because again, like I said, if I don't panic or if I don't worry about things, if I don't stress about shit, they go wrong. I pay my stress tax to the universe and then things go right. So Mike was great. He answered my questions with patience about everything I needed. But here's where this trip, here's where I've learned a thing or two on this fucking trip, okay? Mike has the confidence and knowledge of a millennial.
That's right.
Okay. It's like, even that is that's right.
That's right.
So here's what happens. We leave in the morning to go try Now in Daylight to find the key
Find
for the
this
truck.
key for this car. Yeah,
And we're
or
great. You know
whatever,
what? It's our first bright sunshiny morning, guys. It's so fucking hot here. I have no
Yeah.
idea how cold it is in Ottawa because again, I was at TD freezing my ass off in a long sleeve button up shirt with a vest on, and I was like, okay, it's fucking October in
I don't
Ottawa.
even want to look.
It's beautiful.
I know.
here.
It's
We get
beautiful
out,
here. I just going to, yeah.
We
That's it.
walk in the sun, t-shirt or whatever the fuck I was wearing.
Yeah.
Beautiful weather. I've been overdressed without wearing a fucking fall jacket. I'm not wearing a fall jacket and I'm overdressed every day. That's how fucking beautiful it is
Yeah.
here. Okay. And we walking towards where the car is. And you know what? I'm on cloud nine. I'm in California. I'm in Los Angeles. Let's see how this day goes. I get to see the Hollywood Hills in the daylight, which is absolutely stunning.
Yeah, that's the part you missed
to
when you
see the
first
hills.
got here.
Yeah.
So we got here, it was dark, and you miss out on that whole view of the hills in the background.
houses and
the
everything like
houses
that.
and
It's
everything.
amazing.
Yeah, and
It's-
the colors and everything.
it's
You really miss
gorgeous.
out on it, yeah.
So we're going for a walk to try to find the keys to this truck because our plan was to go to Costco and get our groceries for the week.
That's right.
So we're like, but you know what? The Costco is a it was a 25-minute drive. It's not close. So if we don't have this, we don't have this vehicle. If this key is just lost or whatever, we don't have a way to go get our groceries. At least not from Costco.
Right.
We're gonna have to change our plans. So
So I had texted Liz and find out like, hey, listen, like we weren't able to find this key. And it's too dark. We're trying out for the night. Hopefully your car is not going to get towed in the between now and then when we come back in the morning. And she says, yeah, it was fine. And then she went ahead and described a little more about where the key was.
yeah.
That was that evening. So we're like, okay, we're gonna try again in the morning and see where it's at. And she even had to sent another picture where you could see the key ring.
Well, that she had that picture and didn't
Yeah,
use it.
No, I mean that's all right. I'm not
just
blaming
teasing
her.
her, but
I'm
it's-
not blaming her. But yeah, I mean, like this was kind of like okay, yeah. And so
Mikey decides,
Yeah.
this is where the car is. The car is just down this way.
yeah,
And we're walking, and it's a great walk. We don't have anywhere to be particularly. It's still relatively early in the morning. Again, we're excited, and we're going for this walk. And all of a sudden, we cross La Brea, which is the street we came up from LAX.
yeah.
We crossed La Brea, or no, we went left first. Doesn't matter. We
Doesn't
walked.
matter.
We walked a reasonable amount of time.
Yes.
15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, Mikey goes, "Oh wait, the car's not this way. It's this way." So we turn around and we walk the opposite way down Santa Monica Boulevard for quite a while. Then we cross La Brea, and my head goes, we didn't cross this street when we went to go get the car keys last night. And I said to Mikey, I don't think we crossed this. And he's like, no, it's just down here. Pulls out his phone and he looks at his map. And he goes, no, it's down this way.
Yeah.
So we continue to walk a reasonable amount of time down there. And again, confidence. This was the same man who shepherded me through all of the airport, was amazing the day before. I have no reason not to believe the same level of confidence that was successful the day before.
Well, I got you from where we were. We walked up to the Sunset Boulevard to Pinch's Taco and to the Comedy Store. I knew where everything was on Sunset.
He was,
I've done
and it was
this.
great. That Friday, he
Yeah.
was spotless.
I wasn't.
top
That was
to
awesome.
bottom.
Yeah.
So I had no reason, and I even told him. I said, "I'm so sorry that I'm doubting." Because I have so many people in my life who are confident about shit. They have no idea. This was the thing I told him a few times that day.
So
And then this guy goes to sleep at night and fucking just, I don't know what happened. But since then, so we go way too far past La Brea. We get there and he turns out he's entered the rest. There's like a North Orange Grove and an Orange Street or something like that.
that's the thing. So this, well, when I say everything is orange, this, orange, that. So this car is on a street.
As they tend to be.
Well, I don't want to name the street yet because if we have to park this thing and hide the key back, I don't want somebody going to get this car. So let's
They don't know where it is. They don't know what car it is.
That's true.
Well, whatever. Point
I
being
know.
is it's basically there's two streets in a relatively
Similar
walkable,
name.
yeah, that have the same name.
Yeah.
So the point being is we get to the other one and it turns out he's put in that same number but
Yeah.
it's the wrong street.
On the wrong street.
So I was like, oh, I thought so. I'm like, I had this feeling that we didn't cross. Turns out whatever. And not a big deal. I just figured, a little goof, fuck it, who cares? We didn't have anywhere to be. So we get to we get in the car and first things first, we're going to Costco. We're gonna get ourselves some goddamn
right
food.
there. That's our goal right now.
No issue.
We have a lot of housekeeping stuff to do. We've been in our Airbnb. We've taken our showers. We've done our night. But then now it's like, okay, we need to get food, and we need to take care of our. Thankfully, when we got here, there was someone had left some coffee.
Yeah.
so we were able to make some coffee at least for the first.
Yeah.
For the trip for the way out.
It was black, but we were open minded.
Yeah. Because we didn't have any cream or milk or nothing to add and all that. So now we got the car, we got it started driving down the road, ended up at Costco.
And we ate because we had worked up quite a hunger walking all over God's green earth looking for this fucking car.
Yeah, so we get to Costco, and the first thing we do before we do any kind of shopping is just go to the outside restaurant thing that they have.
If you guys know anything about me, you know I loves me some Costco. Can I tell you what they have here? So anybody who's been following on Instagram, as I suggested last week, I said there's gonna be lots to see. Be following the Instagram or the Facebook or whatever.
Yeah.
One of the things I said to Mikey when we were traveling is like, I want to start being more active on social media. I'm going to be taking a lot of pictures, and I want to everywhere we go for food or something, I want to check in, right? And I'm big on making sure there's a picture too. I can check in, but show you what's going on. And I've been doing a good job of that this week. God damn it! So this Costco has stuff that they don't serve in Canada. Can I tell you that they have cheeseburgers there, like double cheeseburgers.
Yeah.
$5. Amazing. They have these things there called chicken bakes. Just says chicken bake, like shake and bake. It's a chicken bake. And the picture looked like the way the description was chicken, bacon, ranch, and like cheese. So I'm like, oh, okay. So it sounds to me like a carbonara thing. But the picture, the way they looked, were like egg rolls. I thought they were like large egg rolls. So I was like, okay, $2.99 for that seems reasonable. They weren't. They were like foot-long fucking Subway sandwich. Like if you took a Subway sandwich, hollowed at the inside, filled it with fucking chicken and bacon and ranch and cheese, and then melted cheese on top. Holy shit, $3. Amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You still have half of yours in the fridge, you piece of garbage. You still can't believe you haven't finished it.
I haven't finished it. Yeah. I should eat it. Is it still good, you think, now?
It's been wrapped in foils. It doesn't come out of the fridge.
That makes it good.
I would fucking eat it for sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
eat
okay.
that. Eat that. motherfucker.
Yeah.
So yeah, the chicken bakes were that's something I'm like, I'll fucking eat it.
Yeah,
I will
yeah.
fucking eat that. I'm actually kind of hoping that for some reason we have to go near there, even to swing by.
Just to swing by,
I'm
get
a
a
piece of
chicken
garbage.
bake.
I would
Yeah.
drive 25 minutes
Just
to
to
swing
eat,
by
yeah.
I'd be like a chicken bake and an acai bowl, which is another thing I had, guys. They have like acai yogurt or frozen yogurt or
Something like
ice,
that
whatever,
with fruit.
delicious, and they put fresh blueberries, not like a blueberry sauce, but fresh blueberries, fresh chopped strawberries, and then they have a granola banana chips mix that they put in. It's basically just it was fucking amazing, dude. You had the smoothie. Too,
I had
that
the
they have.
smoothie,
They do
yeah.
smoothies there too.
Yeah, that was good too.
$2 smoothie.
It was awesome. And then, so we end up walking around. That was fun walking around a U.S. Costco.
Holy shit! Utopian.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, it's pretty much the same stuff. Like a lot of the stuff
Yeah.
we saw, prices are similar, I guess. What makes it, some of them are either more or less. We figured it out that what was
And this
actually
was
worthwhile.
This was a nice neighborhood. So
Yeah.
Costco brings in their stuff based on the demographic of the area that they're in.
It's Los Feliz.
Yeah, Los Feliz.
Los Feliz, yeah, Feliz.
Is it Feliz?
It's Los
Whatever.
Feliz, yeah.
Feliz. Write your own fucking
Yeah.
definitions. There was okay, so like they had Apple Homes.
Yeah.
Or Home Pods, as they
Home
call them.
Pods, yeah.
Never seen one. Saw
No.
it. Looks beautiful. They've
Yeah,
sold out, of
whatever.
course. And they had, dude, I could go on.
Yeah.
But let's put it this way. For starters, I think the first section that started to blow my fucking mind was the alcohol section.
Yeah, that was incredible.
Guys, a liter, 1.7. Fuck this. Okay. I have to tell you this. This is going to piss you off. It pissed me off. You all know how much time I spend in LCBOs, and I'm a good bitch. I fucking buy shit at the LCBO. So I'm going to tell you, all right, I'm going to bring up the Grey Goose. This was the one that I can really, that I see on a regular
Highlights,
basis.
yeah.
Okay.
Which you guys can all relate to in some way.
Yeah. So here's what we're going to do. All right. The Grey Goose, your average bottle of booze, okay, is your 750 milliliter. So right here, I typed in Grey Goose. Guess what? Exactly the size I needed came up. So Grey Goose, the 1.75 milliliter bottle, which is 1,750 milliliters. Just making it nice and easy for everyone. That sells in Ontario for $113.95. Do you know what that bottle sold for at Costco in the United States? $39.95.
US. But
US.
still.
Oh, fuck it.
Incredible.
Oh, by the way, the hot dogs are the same price.
Yeah.
$1.50 in Canada and $1.50 in the States. You know what that means? They're more expensive in America. But I'll tell you this, I would pay more for a hot dog to pay 3 times less. 113.95 is it's you round down, but it's basically 114, which is almost 120 and 40. That's a third of the fucking price.
I remember you being just out of there. There's that. It was all the scotches and the whiskeys and everything. It was like incredible, and some stuff you cannot get back home at all. And there the best one was like the 3 packs of like Jameson, which was like, I think it was like $23.
Everything was unbelievable. Everything was $1 a beer. Like the good shit. The good shit was $1 a beer.
Yeah.
And even like, let's put it this way. I mean, this is what bothered me, because I know that the 750 milliliter bottle of Grey Goose is $50. Mm-hmm. So this one that has more than double the amount of Grey Goose, more than double
of that, more,
is $10 cheaper on this side. Yeah. So we are getting gouged like motherfuckers. Anyways, I won't dwell too long on this. All I want to say is that the booze prices at Costco in the States, unfucking believable. Okay. Another thing that I noticed with the Costco, because Mikey and I were looking around, there's brands, guys, that I haven't seen in years.
That's right.
Country Crock margarine I saw. I haven't seen Country Crock in forever. I'm not saying it's amazing.
No.
But they had tons of mixed drink sections, in the sense that like Nestle Quick. We still get that in Canada. Yeah. But they had the what was it? Tang. They had a bunch of different kinds of ones. High C. Yeah. Like a bunch of different stuff that we haven't seen here, brands.
In a while.
I'm trying to think of some other shit that I saw. And I was like, oh, fuck, I haven't seen that in a while. There's a bunch of different things. It's not the, I got to say, like, and you could tell in the area too. Like they even had, Costco, wherever you are locally, you can find like restaurant stuff. They had like Universal Studios tours, free pass, like 3 passes for the price of 1 day kind of thing. Yeah. It was cool. It was really cool to see the Costco. I ended up getting a pair of shoes because of the fucking metal ones. After walking around on Mikey's wild goose chase all morning, I'm like, I might need something that's a little easier on the fucking feet. But got a pair of $20 Reeboks, blah, blah. But we got ourselves, the simple shit, eggs, coffee. Yeah. Way too much of everything.
I mean, a lot of everything. Yeah. At least the eggs, like I know for at least I know for the eggs we got enough of that.
Yeah, we bought too much of everything else.
Too much of milk for sure.
Yeah.
And then we bought we have still got some snacks we need to go through.
Yep. I mean, we did well though.
We did well.
We're intelligent. We bought smart. We didn't buy expensive.
I think at most, we only spent about, all said, like not including your items,
$50 each.
$50 each.
That's less than $10 a day for all the stuff.
Awesome.
Cases of water. We got beer. We spent less than $10 a day on a bunch of good shit.
Yeah.
This is just
beer,
us patting ourselves
beer,
on the back.
Breakfast, and some late night snacks, maybe even lunches that we have.
Yeah. We got this putrid fucking green stuff. Do you mind grabbing it just so we can read everything that's in it? Yeah. There's we're podcasting at the dining room table in our Airbnb here. So we got and then the stupid shit that I bought. Do you mind grabbing that too? So I saw this in the booze section of Costco. And you know what? You guys know how this podcast works. We're still on Saturday, by the way. We're going to tell you about Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and today before we even get to the sponsors section, all right? So here's what I bought. I bought this stuff called Suja. Mike, I think, had heard of this already, but I hadn't heard of Suja. So it says the Mighty Dozen Organic. This is what's in this shit. It's apple, celery, cucumber, kale, collard greens, lemon, mint tea, ginger, spinach. There's all sorts of shit on here. Why not? What the fuck? Why not go out on a limb?
I'm reading the back right now. It says vegan, gluten-free, dairy-free, soy-free, BPA-free, no added sweeteners,
flavor-free.
No flavor, no,
Well, this is a cute little quote they have on the front from Mark Twain. Why not go out on a limb? That's where the fruit is. But there's it's all about, it says spirulina, chlorella, barley grass. I'm telling you, I could taste the fucking kale in this. Yeah. Anyways, it's a green drink, guys, and it tastes like a green drink. It's really, it's like sweet for a split second, and then it's just like, it's like the happening is happening in a bottle where the plants are trying to get their revenge on humanity.
Back. Yeah.
So I got this, and then when I was in the booze section, I bought this. It's not the season yet. It's not. It's not, but I was just like, oh, you know what? I wouldn't mind this.
We should try some.
It's a Kirkland Signature traditional holiday eggnog liqueur. And it said on the, but it was $9. It's $9 for 1.75 liters. That's a lot. It's almost a 2-liter bottle of fucking eggnog.
What's the alcohol content on that?
Alcohol content is 14.75.
Ouch, yeah.
It's not horrible. That's not
so
bad.
bad.
It'll get you drunk.
Yeah.
But this is what it
It's
said.
like a
This is
wine.
how they got me. It said made with real dairy cream, whiskey, spiced rum, brandy. There's 3 kinds of booze in here.
bunch of shit,
And
man.
French vanilla.
Yeah. Okay.
And I was like, that sounds amazing. I have had 2 inches in a glass. There's still a lot left. I'm going to have to get my eggnog. I might sit here and get eggnog
You
drunk
might be drinking this tonight on your own.
Yeah. And then I'll come home and I'll throw Mexican on it. Yeah. Sorry, pal.
No worries.
We're watching the clock here because
Yeah.
we're trying to get Mikey out to a show. But
Yeah.
but we're having fun. I hope you're having fun.
I'm having a great time.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So we've got...
It's a Saturday
oh,
now.
shit. I didn't hit the record button. No, I'm kidding. I'm fucking kidding. Oh, you should see your face right now.
you wouldn't be doing a podcast if that was the case.
Yeah. So yeah. Anyways, the Costco thing was fun. We picked up all sorts of goofy shit.
Yeah.
But it was good. So like again, with all of the extra juices and drinks and stuff like that, like we did particularly well.
Yeah.
On that. And then
It's a Saturday that night. What did
Yeah.
we do the first night?
we went to Home Depot and we got a key cut too.
That's right.
That was the thing too. And I have to talk about it. I got to talk about it. The stereotypes, guys, are absolutely true. Absolutely true. I mean, I didn't make jokes. It wasn't funny to me.
No.
I was just like, holy shit, it's 100% true. The second we pulled off the street and into the entrance of the Home Depot,
Yeah.
I window was down because it's hot as balls here. And I just hear labor, look over, and there's a bunch of Spanish or Latin. They're not necessarily Mexican,
No.
as the stereotypes would have you believe, but it's a safe assumption. If you're in Vegas and you're betting your own money, odds are Mexican.
Yeah, most likely.
But that stereotype about how there's Mexicans out front of Home Depot who are looking for work, 100% true on
That happens,
the one that
yeah.
the one that we were at. And we weren't like on the outskirts. We were right in the middle of Hollywood. Labor. Hey, look, we have work, hourly work. I was like, oh fuck. I felt bad. I didn't think it was funny. I didn't think.
We
I was
didn't
like,
make
oh
fun
shit.
of them for it. It's
No,
just like
it's-
these are guys who are here and they're doing their best and they're trying to survive. They're fucking trying to survive, and they got the worst situation, and they're working. They're out there hustling,
Yep.
man. So you got to respect that. You got to respect the hustle
Absolutely.
that they got out there.
I just thought it was. I thought it was something that I would see more of, like
Yeah.
a little outskirt town or border town or whatever.
No.
But anyways,
No.
But it's true.
Los Angeles.
That is absolutely true. Out front of the Home Depot, they're
Mm-hmm.
there asking for work. I guess that's how. Stereotypes fucking happen.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But we went in, got a key cut, easy peasy, in and out, no problem. Now we've got. So at this point, now we've got the car, the truck. We're
That's
good.
it. Yep.
We've got our extra key
Parked
for
it
the
at the
Airbnb.
Airbnb.
All the things that are potentially going to cause us issues. Because that first night, right, when I couldn't keep my head awake, Mikey had to give me the key to get back to the Airbnb. So I came in exhausted, but I'm like, I'm in Los Angeles and all the doors have bars on them. So I'm
Yeah.
like, I got to find a way to get myself in. I mean, obviously I use the key, but I'm like, but now I can't lock the door behind me because Mike needs to get in. But I can't leave it unlocked because I don't want to die. I don't want to get fucking murdered.
Exactly.
We figured out a little system. I left the one door open and then the goddamn gate in front of the door, was
And just-
locked. So
yeah,
you could just bang.
I just banged on it and you opened it up and
We got it in, but I'll be honest, I was worried about falling asleep and not being able to
Yeah.
wake up when he banged on the door to be let in.
Yeah.
So luckily everything worked out, but it's again, I don't need more reasons to stress.
No.
So now that we got the car, we know that we're going to be able to do the things we want to do because again, this week has got a lot going on. We're still talking about it.
Yeah.
But a lot of the stuff was contingent on having some wheels. Otherwise, it would be a very expensive Uber here, Uber there week.
Or at least like you'd be narrowed down to just West Hollywood.
Exactly.
Which sucks. And not that it sucks. I think West Hollywood's got a lot going for it. I mean, you got West Hollywood has the Comedy Store. It's got the Hollywood Improv. It's got the Laugh Factory and everything around those 3 main clubs. And there's a number of things in between there. But
we have definitely opened up having that vehicle,
Yeah.
getting that key cut, guys.
Yeah.
Now, and because of the fact that we went to Costco and got our meals for the week, at least in the mornings
one
and
less
stuff,
thing to worry about.
it's just so many things are now resolved. So I got to tell you that the stress release on Saturday was great. We went to Rite Aid, which is like a drugstore. We got ourselves some, what the fuck did we buy there? We bought just like little toothpaste and
Well, you bought your beer there. You bought
I
your
got my
Michelob
second case
there.
of beer.
Second case.
I don't
of
know
beer.
why I saw 2 for
Yeah,
and
you
said
just
that's
had to
not
get
going to
it.
be enough for us.
No. And then we needed soap,
I got
toilet paper.
toothpaste. Yeah, we got toothpaste or toilet paper.
Toothpaste.
Toilet paper, sorry.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got
Just
the
the basic
essentials.
shit we
That's all it
needed.
was. And then I
Yeah.
fucking had a nap.
Yeah.
Went to the Comedy Store on Saturday.
Saturday.
What did we see Saturday at the Comedy Store? Because I don't remember.
That's a
It
great
says
question.
the Comedy Store and then Comedy Store twice. Why did I put Comedy Store? Oh, because we went left and came back.
Right.
So I'm trying to think of what the fuck we saw on Saturday. Nothing memorable. I can tell you that right now.
No,
We
I
never went in. We didn't see anything. We walked in to see your friend Steve,
Yeah.
and then we got kicked out right away.
Yeah, and so we went to go, we tried to get in the back at the OR in the original room, and my friend Steve Simone was on stage. So I'm like, we get to see him. I can see
Yeah, the
his
door
set.
guys told us we could go in.
Yeah, and then whoever was running the actual spot inside the OR, I'll tell you what it was. Here's the deal with the OR. The OR has is a tickets. You pay $20 usually to get in, depending on the night. It can be up to $30. It's a 2-drink minimum, and you get to watch a comedy all the way from 8 p.m. all the way to 1:30 in the morning if you want. And it's nonstop. If you want to sit down and watch that entire show, by all means do it. It's a gauntlet of comics doing 10 to 15 minutes on most nights, and so. With that, you see there's people who walk in and walk out, and it's a 2-drink minimum, so there's waitresses running around. And so we walked in and we said, hey, listen, we're comics. We're just sitting in the back. We just want to watch Steve, and we'll be back. And this waitress was having fucking none of it.
She like rolled her eyes, walked right over to
None
the
of
box
it.
office, told a doorman who
Yeah.
promptly came over and was like, "Yeah, you guys
got to go now. I got to kick you out." And we're like, "Fuck!" And that happens apparently. Like that's happened to me before. I've had it out with one of the guys who runs the OR before.
which stands for original
room. My apologies.
It's okay.
What got me on the last time I got to the original room and why I got pissed off when I got kicked out was this is so stupid. I paid for a ticket.
Oh yeah.
I paid for a ticket and I was ready to buy drinks. I was like, I'm going to pay for my ticket, get my 2 drinks, but I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to be going out back when there's an act I don't like. I want to be able to sneak out the back, go out in the back, and then, like talk to some people at the doors in the back patio, and then come back out and then come back in when I feels right. I have a ticket. But the last thing I need to do is to go sit near the front of the stage
And disrupt the show.
So basically the waitress was having none of it. And I was like, well, listen, I want to pay for my drinks. I'll buy 2 drinks right now. Please let me sit in the back with the comics, with whatever, as long as it's like not with anyone, just leave me alone. I'll sit in the back. I don't want to be bothered. I want to watch the show. And this guy who was running the door guy came up to me, and I've had dealings with him again. He's probably forgotten me since then, but he was just a dick. I think he was overzealous of his power, and he's just like, no, you gotta go.
A doorman overzealous of his power?
Yeah.
That sounds like...
So he kicked me out. And I was like, I paid for a fucking ticket and I'm willing to buy 2 drinks. I just don't want to sit in the front because I want to be able to go off and go to the bathroom or do whatever in the back area and not have to fucking disrupt the show. I'm being good to your show. But he was having none of it. He wanted me to sit in the front and fill up the front, I guess, to have people sitting in the front for him meant like having that fullness of the audience. But you think you'd make an exception to a comic, right? Like, I don't know. So... the same deal happened here. Basically, the show wasn't full. Like you can go in the back and sit in the back, and all I wanted to see was Steve. All I want to see his 5-10 minutes, and just walk out after that. That's all I wanted. And I guess we got kicked out, which sucks. Yeah, and we still. I'm willing to find out if
that was the night with Bobby Lee too.
Yeah, I'm willing to find out if Joey Diaz has a late night spot. I'm willing to pay $20 to be able to get into the OR and know that I can get into an OR and not, get my 2 drinks and I can fucking enjoy a show because I want to see him again live. And I think you should definitely see Joey Diaz.
Won't be tonight. I'm toast.
Yeah, I know.
I'm fucking toast.
But all to say, like for those of you listeners who don't know, the Comedy Store is this great place that has 3 big rooms. It has the main room, which is massive, and that can be cut off and shortened off, but for the most part, and then you can widen it out to when there's a large show. There's the original room, which is exactly what it was. It was the original room. The format of the original room is usually there's a list that goes up, and there's comics that'll go up from anywhere from it's 8 p.m. all the way to 1:30 a.m.
Yeah, it's like just constant comics. So crowds come in and out. It's not like Absolute Comedy or your average comedy club where you come in,
and that's
sit
your
down,
night.
the show starts, it ends, and that's it. It's like it's just you come and you pay to go into that room. You have a ticket that gives you access to that room, and you can sit there and you can watch the entire show. You can stay there from 8 till 1 a.m. You're gonna get sick of laughing.
Yeah,
but you will see great comedians.
Yeah, I mean, I've been around that. OR is really where it's at because you're going to see 10, 15 minute sets from established comics, and it can be anybody. Anybody. I know, even if it's not on the list, like, so they put the list up and see who's going to be up that night. I guarantee you, if you go in any given night, you could have anybody show up. I know I was talking to a buddy that I had met last time, a guy named, shout out to Carlos. Carlos told me that the week after I left, Dave Chappelle showed up. And he was doing the OR, and he got there at 10. And from 10 until 3 a.m., he did a set. And he was doing 3 hours of material in the OR. He was just owning that spot. And then apparently, my understanding from what Carlos said, he says he was sat
From
in
10 to 3 a.m., that's 5 hours.
Yeah, and 10 to 1 a.m., something like that. The 1:30 they got to close out the show. So you got Don Barris, who always comes in and closes out that show every night, and he's a shit show. But no, yeah, I think 10 to 1 o'clock or something to that effect. He did a 3 hour show. 3 hour show.
It's insane.
Yeah, and from what Carlos was telling me, he sat in the first hour and the last hour. He got kicked out in the middle of the hour. He just couldn't do it. And he said both times his mouth was open the whole fucking time because he was like, he's just killing. He's killing. And apparently when the way he walked on stage, you got guys doing 10, 15 minutes, and the guy before him didn't do so well. And he just walked up, and I think he said with the most amount of confidence, he said, "Didn't you guys just realize that a fucking legend just walked on stage? It's like you forgot."
Chappelle said that?
Yeah, you forgot that a fucking legend just walked on stage. And something like
Sounds pretty arrogant.
It wasn't arrogant. It was like they weren't laughing. They weren't laughing at the fact that he was making initial jokes, and that just warmed them up. It was just like, hey, you're watching Dave Chappelle right now. And everybody was like, yeah, I guess that's the case, right? But it's hard to lose track. Like, when I was there, Bill Burr came in and would do 10, 15, and he was not on the bill. I saw Tom Segura come in and do 10, 15.
Yeah, we saw Tom came in. I didn't get to see his
Yeah.
act. That Saturday night kind of sucked because I saw Bobby Lee, I saw Joey Diaz, like all these people came in. We just couldn't get in to see them at the time. But it was still cool to sit around and I got to talk with comics and door people and learn a little bit of the culture and things like that. Bobby Lee and I fucked around a little bit and, chatted with each other.
Yeah, Bobby, that's the same as last time. Bobby's super approachable. If you're in the store and you're hanging out the back, Bobby will talk to you. He's not unapproachable at all. And that's because he's a door. He used to be a door guy.
Yeah.
Bobby used to run the phones there too, and the same thing. So he comes from that, and he knows comics, and he likes comics. He does, he's not full of himself on that.
That's right. No, he's a good dude. We hung out at the store for a bit, then we left to have a meal. We went to Pinch's Tacos again.
Yeah, of course.
To which I was like, hey, I wanted to try those. I want to do those tacos again last night that were the good ones. Mikey's like, oh, well, those are the carnitas.
The carnitas.
You got to get the carnitas. I was like, okay, so we ordered the carnitas. Sit down, eat. They were not the ones I was looking for. They were not the carnitas. So, shit happens. We don't really remember what was what. Again, Mike, his confidence was. You know what? I don't think you were overly confident at that. I think you're like, I think it's the carnitas. That's got to be the carnitas. I was like, okay, that works. Wasn't crazy confident. After we had our meal, we went back to the Comedy Store, finished off our night. On our way back, I'm like, let's get a couple of these to go back to the condo.
Yeah.
We get in there, and Mike goes, oh, it's these guys here.
Yeah.
You got to get these ones. I 100%. I go, you sure those are the ones? He goes, 100%.
I was so unsure.
Get them, put them in the bag. Not a care in the world. Hop in our Uber, head back here to the condo, open up our tacos. Not the fucking ones again.
They're delicious anyway, but not the ones we were looking for. I know.
With the comp, guys, I'm telling you, it has been this way all week. Mikey has got this. We're in the car driving up and down streets. He's like, oh, it's this way. I'm sure of it. It's not. You know what?
I'm never far though. I'm very close. Like the worst was when we did the walk to go to get the car.
That was the worst one.
That was the worst.
But you're taking lefts and rights on streets, and you're like, that's this. I'm certain of it. And it's not even that we have time. It's so funny to me because, like I said, you were such a beacon, a shepherd. I like that I used the word shepherd. I didn't even realize it was coming until I said it originally. But you were such a good shepherd. And I was so like, oh, you had built so much fucking equity. Thank God for that first day. Because I'm telling you, I'd be walking around here going, this fucking guy has no idea what he's talking about. But it's shit. That's not important shit. Thank Christ.
Thank God.
It's just funny little goddamn detours and ordering the wrong tacos 3 times before getting it right. We have since figured out what the right taco is and have enjoyed it
I was still able to navigate the comedy store and all that good stuff.
Yep.
And having the door guys sort of get on our side. So
Sunday was a magical morning. We made our first breakfast here at the condo. Everything was great. We wandered down to a Starbucks.
Right.
Tried to write, but this magical place was very just so exciting that it made it difficult. We chatted. On. We did get some ideas out.
We did. So I think, that morning was still productive regardless, because we went back and forth on ideas and premises anyways. And I definitely opened my breadth of what we were going to write about and what my next sort of ventures into writing is going to be, and sort of my perspective of how I'm going to write my next set. I think a lot of what my goal is to be here in LA is I'm not really happy with the set that I have. I'm not really happy the level I'm at. I think I should be writing more truthful, more me kind of stuff. So, and just hearing it from you, hearing, and going back and forth on premises and where I'm going to write stuff, that just helped. It definitely helped. It was very useful.
Well, we did. I want to get into that, but we're going to save it because we got a really nice piece of story to come up.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
We'll save it for that.
Yeah.
We did the ideas. We did some writing. We did some chatting. We went to Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. Right. Soul food. Ate giant waffles and fried chicken. The staff was great. We had a great time chatting with the staff. I got pictures with the staff.
It's phenomenal.
I'm not trying to railroad us out of this. I'm just trying to speed it up a little bit, because if you guys are listen, I'm glad you guys are still listening.
Yeah, Keith, thanks for sticking around, guys.
Yeah, you can listen to this incrementally, as I'm sure you will, because we're at the hour and 44 minute mark, and there's still reasonable amount of story. So just thank you for listening. Keep listening.
You're at the meat of the story right now, just so you know. Yeah.
We did the Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. It was so fun. At this point, after having the Pinches tacos and the chicken and waffles and the fucking eggs and sausages for breakfast, I was telling Mike that I was getting concerned about my fucking health.
Yeah.
I can't eat garbage all the time. I'm like, as much as I want to try these places that exist, I'm almost at a point where I've made myself sick of the fast food type stuff, that I'm very comfortable with the idea of, because again, we had the chicken bakes, we had the fucking double cheeseburgers at Costco, and they were amazing. They're good, fucking amazing.
But no.
But I'm just consuming so much American food. Thank Christ I don't live down here, because I'd be dead by now. I would. But I mean, I were eating the chicken and waffles. I didn't finish them. Mikey didn't finish his. But I'm just like, man, I can see why everybody in this country is so fucking fat.
Yeah.
Sorry, America.
Sorry.
I'm fucking fat.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, the meal was great. The dudes were cool.
Yeah.
We got a family photo out front of Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles with our server our maitre d' of the Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles.
Yeah.
Everybody's fucking great. And then our big thing was to come back and go to the Hollywood Improv. They had a bucket show.
That's a bucket show, which I've done before. Didn't get picked on the Sunday, but got picked on the Tuesday night, which would have been tonight, by the way.
I didn't know how the thing worked. So we went to the Hollywood Improv. I saw two comics from Canada, Matt O'Brien and Julia Ladkowitz. We got to see the tail end of a I guess like a pro-am show, or just maybe an up-and-comer show?
Yeah, there was like I think it was a pro-am show, and then they were going to do the later open mic bucket show. So we got to see some pro-ams perform. We talked to the manager, thankfully, and told him, hey, listen, we're from out of town, we're comedians, and we're going to be up on the next show, but, what can you do for us? And sure enough, he's like, we got room in the back. We'll give you a free... We'll give you free tickets to get in, and they give us these wristbands, and we ended up sitting at the bar and having it's a 1 drink minimum. So we had the 1 drink. We were fine.
Mm-hmm. As always, you guys can hear the notifications because I don't know how to put this thing on fucking airplane mode.
So we got to the Hollywood Improv, and this is so I got to clarify the Hollywood Improv. Which is owned by Levity Entertainment. They've since sort of narrowed down the club, and they've made 2 clubs or 2 rooms here.
Can I just say, just a little side interjection, that notification is from my friend Michelle Romano.
Okay.
I told you I'm super friends with millionaires.
Okay.
Sorry. Just to put context to that, I was talking to her about Beyond Meat Burgers. I've been so excited about the Beyond Meat. She posted something, and I sent her a message commenting on it, and she was like, oh my God. Anyways.
Yeah, cool.
That's all it is. All right. I'm super friends with millionaires. That's all.
Yeah, no big deal. No big deal. So yeah, Hollywood Improv has 2 rooms. They have the originally used to be like a much smaller room, but since Levity's opened it, they've made it a large sort of like showcase room. That's what the Improv actually looks like. And we never got in there. We ended up going to a to the lab, which is a smaller workout bar / room, which is it's a decent stage, but you got to think of it kind of like the belly room. It's like the belly room of
You guys
the
know the
Hollywood
belly
Improv.
room, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's familiar with it. No,
Well, we talked about the belly room
No, I
because that's
know.
the small show we went to. But yeah,
it's their side room. So it's
their side
basically
room.
like kind of like their little indie venue next to this giant 500 seat club.
Yeah.
which is the actual Hollywood Improv.
yeah, they would never host an open mic in their main
There's
area.
no way you'd fill it.
There's
It would just
no way.
suck in general.
No way. And not to mention, like, it's like that place, they tend to fill it with like big name comics.
Yeah.
Like just big name comics.
So this bucket show, the way a bucket show works is, again, because I'm not used to, there's a lot of sign-ups. So instead of signing up via email and you post it like you do in a lot of the shows in Canada, is there's these tickets. You write your name on the ticket, you throw it in a bucket. Now, my understanding of what was going to go on is we were all submitting our names, and then someone's going to take the bucket away, pull names out of it, write up a list, and then post it for everyone.
That would be nice.
So
but
I write Josh Williams, Canadian, on it. I
Right.
figure the person choosing the names may want to know that yours truly is from out of town. Being a booker myself, it's nice to have a show where you get new faces on, because novelty is a good business tool in getting repeat business. People
Right.
like to see new things. Nobody wants to buy the same thing over and over and over again in terms of entertainment, right? You're not going to the same movie multiple times. It might be nice to add a new character to the sequel. So all I'm saying is I think that I'm going to be putting my name on there with Canadian so that they know I'm a Canadian when they draw the names and make the list.
put it that
My shepherd did not tell me that was the case. Not that it's your position.
No.
To tell me. I'm just kidding. So
I did mention a bucket show. I thought you would have figured out that
I'm
it's a
an
lottery
idiot.
spot bucket show.
I am a fucking idiot.
Okay, yeah,
Give
yeah.
me an opportunity to
Yeah,
fuck
yeah.
myself over. I will. I'm not. I'm just trying to add more to the fuel of the fire that Mikey's out. I'm just joking. It's not Mike's fault. But anyway, so that show goes on. Mike gets on the show. He gets drawn. I would say middle of the show.
Yeah.
Middle to later in the show.
Yeah, that was nice.
And I was drawn like way late in the show.
yeah.
Like maybe one of the last 2 or 3 comics.
Yeah.
Mike did fine. But listen, let's put it, nobody did even well on
No.
the show. But Mike did fine. I did not do well. I didn't like nobody
No.
did. There wasn't a good to do on the show. But I did not have fun. I did 3 minutes. I took a joke that usually takes me about 5 and I did it in 3. I cut out some parts. And at the end of the day, I did not have fun doing the show. And the guy, when he drew my name, he goes, Josh Williams, Canadian?
Oh,
Canadian.
yeah.
It says Canadian on the ticket. He wants everyone to know he's Canadian. Are you Canadian? And I'm like, yes, that's fine. So I get up there being, advertised as Canadian. There was a comic who was on 2 people before me who wasn't from the United States. He was from like Trinidad or Zimbabwe or something.
Yeah.
And he was shitting on Americans and how stupid they are. And every other
Yeah.
country knows that Americans are stupid. So now here comes another foreigner. I'm sure they can't wait to listen with open arms to me. Anyways, didn't go great. One of my best jokes, condensed it to 3 minutes, delivered it immaculately, but didn't do great. It's one of those things where I do it, I hear a couple of chuckles. They did laugh a little bit,
They
but
did.
certainly not what I'm used to for that fucking joke.
Right.
And I walk off stage, walk past the bar where a bunch of comedians were like, that was a really good joke. I'm like, that's very kind of you. Thank you. They're like, I really liked it. It was good. You should. And I'm like, all right, it was great. But it's one of those things where it doesn't matter. If you're not hearing them laugh on stage, that's where it matters.
Yeah.
It gets into your head. So we walk back from the Improv, both of us kind of licking our wounds on that
Yeah.
set. Our first time performing this week in the fucking comedy clubs.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was our lovely Sunday.
Right.
Monday morning, yesterday. All right. Oh my God, things are getting better. We've got leads on spots, by the way, at this point.
exactly.
People are going to help us get spots and whatnot. But first things first, I do a little promo. Got a little partner here named DK Books. You guys might know that I'm very, very fond of DK. Well, I figured since we're reviewing a book this week, a little bit of context with it, we take a picture of this book up in front of the Hollywood sign. The Hollywood sign itself, we drive up into the hills off Mulholland Drive, and Mikey and I were snapping some pics of the book just to do a little promo, because that's how much I care for my partners. I'm willing to drive into, we're willing to actually go out and mission specifically to take pictures. So we also booked some podcasts,
Yeah.
which I will tell you guys about very shortly. We're getting close, guys. We're getting close to the mid show break. I will tell you this much: the show is way more than half over at this point. We're just the recap so far is more than what's going on. Anyways, Hollywood Sign, take our pictures.
Yeah.
We booked some podcasts.
Right.
Brian Scalero, DJ Demers, Andy Hendrickson, three buddies of mine who live here in Los Angeles. Booked some podcasts with them, and because of the nature of where they live, we did a little scope up out on Brian's area to see if we'd be able to park, because we had to bring all the podcast gear. So we wanted to make sure that we weren't walking through the streets of Los Angeles with.
We won't mention exactly where he lives, but he lives somewhere that's fairly.
He lives near
touristy.
Hollywood Boulevard.
Yeah.
He lives in a good spot.
Yeah, nice boy. Yeah.
So the idea is we just went to scope out the fucking parking situation. Then we went down to scope out the El Capitan Theater. I'll explain why shortly.
Yeah.
And then we had an In-N-Out burger. In-N-Out burger. Oh my god! You know why they call it In-N-Out? Because it feels
how it
sexual.
feels.
It's so goddamn good.
Yeah.
It was great. We got I posted the food again. Another meal that's just I was gonna say for animals. Well, that's why they call everything animal style there. All right.
Yeah.
So we had our food, came back to the condo, got ourselves all prepped up, and went to the Comedy Store.
Yeah, so Monday's the big night for Comedy Store if you're from out of town, if you've never performed. So Monday is known as Potluck Night, and it's also known as the Kill Tony Show Night. And this is the night where all comics, not big name comics, but like up and comers, smaller, and anyone who's a door guy, this is their night, and you get free reign access to the club. You get to do what you want at this point. It's really, really fun for that. And so potluck, if you don't know the history behind it, potluck was the opportunity for you to initially showcase to the people at the Comedy Store. And originally the history was that you would do potluck if you were a door guy or if you put your name in the lottery, and maybe you might be able to audition to get spots and showcase to Mitzi. And Mitzi Shore being the person who owns who at the time founded the comedy club, and I probably founded all of stand-up comedy in North America. And so the legend goes that if you wanted to be in the eye of Mitzi, and you were a nobody and you weren't a door guy, or you were just a new door guy, and you didn't want to actually do a full showcase, you would go to potluck and you would sign up. And Mitzi would sometimes show up in the back. There's a nice chair in the back of the OR that would be Mitzi's chair, and you didn't know if she was going to pop in or not. And if she thought you were funny, you would probably end up getting an option to showcase. And then if you get to showcase and you pass, this is the level that they have. If you get passed, then you become what's known as a paid regular. And a paid regular doesn't seem like much, but to anybody who's a comic and understands what that means, being a paid regular has the advantage that you can get on pretty much any night you want at the Comedy Store by just asking for it and getting your availabilities in. You have your name on the wall and all that good stuff. So
it's pretty exciting. It's the idea is that like you've graduated, you've been accepted by this high society of comedy. It's interesting. If you know the character Goldie from I'm Dying Up Here, the show, that's Mitzi. That's them going, this is Mitzi. We have to make this character into a show. But that's her. That's a real human being who, by the way, just passed away this year. So all of the prestige, all of this just iconic woman who was so pivotal in so many different careers and just such a living, breathing fucking essence of the comedy, of what comedy's like and being passed. Anyways, there's a shitload of stuff.
Yeah,
so,
and there's the ghosts of that when you walk in this place. It's incredible. That's what I love about this place. So potluck is that the dream is there for a lot of comics, and they all want to line up. And so we were told, obviously, I've been here, I've done this potluck sign up before. You show up at 5 p.m. and the lineup starts.
Yeah, there was lines all down that front area of the Comedy Store. I would say I'll try to take some pictures this week, guys. I've taken some out front of the Comedy Store to get an idea, but the whole there's the lineup that it's almost like a snake that just winds its way through the front area, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and then it pours out into the street and runs down the street. And there's all these comics waiting to get their names on the list. So Mikey and I both got our names on the lists for
Kill Tony
and the potluck show.
Yeah.
I got lucky. I got picked for the potluck show in the original room, and I went up and I did my set. So that show started almost immediately afterwards. So what was weird about that show is that it starts right away.
Yeah.
And the audience hasn't even started to come in yet. Like there's a couple people. So I was on 4th on that list.
You were.
And so the issue for myself was that I had like there's like six rows of like main sort of seating,
Actual audience.
yeah, and then there's like side tables at the sides and the back and everything like that for like comics who are all trying to get on the show or watch the show. So there was a reasonable amount of people in the room. I'm coming off the back of that not particularly great show the night before at the Improv.
Right.
I get on stage and I'm thinking, oh, great. Most of the people in this room are comics and most of the room is still empty because the audience isn't there. So the earlier you go up on this fucking show, the less people are watching you. I do good. I do much, much better than I did the night before with twice as many people because this time it's not all just comics.
And 3 minutes set.
Yeah. And the comics who came this time were actually not pieces of shit because maybe it's just part of being in the, at the Comedy Store.
Yeah.
But set went well. My good friends, DJ Demers, showed up to do a spot. DJ fucking destroyed.
Yeah.
And I got to see John Hastings, who I haven't seen in a very long time. He made his home in the UK for several years. And John now makes his home in Los Angeles. He's been there for about a month. Anyways, fun show, some talent, some whatever. But I did the potluck show. Mikey got in line for the Kill Tony show. So
Right.
Kill Tony show. I apologize, Mikey. I was sort of reading ahead, and I may have space. So if you covered this already, just stop me dead in my tracks. But Kill Tony is a live podcast. It's available, of course, for download later. But it's like a live podcast where you do a minute of material,
1 minute.
1 minute,
Yeah.
and then Tony Hinchcliffe, in this case, Dom Herrera was a guest judge, and then one of the producers, Brian Redban.
Yeah.
They all will sit there and give you advice. Of course, they also have like a fun little band called the Best Damn Band in the Land, and they chime into like 3 different Kevin Eubanks. They do theme costumes and
Jeremiah Watkins, who leads that band, is incredible. He's hilarious, that guy.
stuff. Yeah,
And-
they were all Starbucks baristas.
Yeah, that was their theme for the night. They were going to come in as Starbucks baristas, and I tell you, you don't hear it on the podcast, but you see it live. Jeremiah was in character the whole time, doing that weird fake service center smile.
Yeah.
He never lost it the whole time. He
No,
was up there.
I actually leaned over to
phenomenal.
Mike and said, "Does he look like that all the time?"
Yeah.
Or is he and Mike's like, "No, he's in character." We chatted with him after the show.
Yeah,
actually.
he's
It
great.
was super cool.
Yeah.
But so we sat in there, the Kill Tony show, just to save you guys some time. There wasn't many people. They spent a lot of time talking to people, but I
It's a
have
bucket
to say,
show, so we have to say
Yeah.
this is a bucket show. Then they pick names out of a bucket that you had signed up for.
yeah, they pick a name out, and now it's
Yeah.
that person to run to the stage.
Yeah.
So it's a 2-hour show from 8 to 10. They only drew 6 comics. I
Yeah.
could be wrong by maybe one number, but I think it was
Something
exactly
like that.
6
Yeah.
comics. I won't go into each one of them. There's no point. But Mikey got called up.
I got
which
called
was
up.
great, and I was so excited for Mike.
This was my
to get called up.
third time trying to get on Kill Tony.
Well, you got on this
and
time,
I got on
buddy.
this time. I was so happy.
Mikey went on. He did a minute, and then they started talking to him. And in this, I don't want to. I want to talk about it, but I don't want to. Go on about it too much.
Yeah. To give you context, I mean, so the key is you do your 1 minute set.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as if you come prepared, you're fine. What really matters is the discussion that happens afterwards.
Right.
So,
It's almost like the minute is just a formality so they
Yeah.
can start talking to you.
yeah. And see how you
see how you deal with it.
Yeah.
Maybe basically it's like a crowd work show almost.
almost.
But here's the thing. So they started talking to Mikey, and what we were talking about Starbucks, right? When Mike was talking about the direction of going as material and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Mike, I don't know. Fuck, Mikey, have you listened to all the podcasts recently? Did I already talk about how you and I sort of got chatting in the first place? How we sort of became friends and were closer and stuff.
I'm not sure if you mentioned that.
So Mike, may I?
Yeah.
May I lead us in? Is there anything you'd prefer I didn't say?
Well, it's out on a multi-million listener podcast
Right.
now, so
Right.
so it's not much. I did reveal a couple.
Well,
things, but yeah.
there you go. Well,
Yeah.
For what it's worth, guys, is Mikey has been through some tough shit in the last year.
Yeah.
Part of his being able to go on the road and stuff like that is that he's going through a divorce.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
definitely getting divorced, but that's a fucking process. There's a bunch of jokes on divorce because it's not a fun thing and it
No.
sucks.
And you got to find that funny.
And they started asking him just little questions. Hey, so you hear this, blah, blah. And they very quickly got it out of him that he's got kids, and him and his, baby mama are not together anymore. And they started, asking him more questions about that. And what I had said to him the other day, this was, at Starbucks. This was after our sets at Starbucks. was that he's got something to say. He's gone through some real shit, some real pain. You know, and I go, that's fascinating to people. And it sucks. It hurts to talk about, but you know, his ex-wife, you know, was caught in the act. Something that everybody, you know, kind of fears, and nobody ever wants to have happen.
No.
So shitloads of empathy to my friend. And here's the thing. This Kill Tony show is a show where Tony and the other people are like looking to do crowd work. They're looking to sort of roast you and rip on you or whatever. And as much as they were trying to do that and whatnot, you could even see, like, Mike had an opportunity to say to them, like, "Hey, I'm listening to the show. Like, I listen to Kill Tony all the time."
Yeah, you can ask me anything. I'll be honest and answer everything, because I know what makes a good post set interview, right?
Yeah,
like
and even Tony had to at one point, like the way he kept asking questions, like, "So did your baby mama, like, was sex good before this?" All these, and I could tell he was asking questions he was interested in, but even at one point he's like, "Man, I'm sorry." It's like you listen to the show, you know how like Tony was basically like. With other people, he wasn't being apologetic, but he's like, he knew he was asking questions about real pain.
Yeah.
He knew you were being honest.
Yeah. And
even he was like, I can't fucking tear a guy's heart out.
Well, like I said, it's like kicking a puppy.
Yeah.
Right. You can't,
It's
you
like-
don't do that. And he's
Some people do. There are pieces of garbage.
he's all about being a heel, but there's a limit to being a heel, right?
Yeah. Even he's not willing to like ruin your life over it, you know? So it was, I found it, it was interesting. I definitely used it as a way to hammer you over the head and go, now, did you see that?
Yeah,
You were
everyone
vulnerable,
was-
and that's all they wanted to ask you questions about. And it sucks. Not just the vulnerability, but I'm like, but it's interesting to people to hear that someone is going through divorce. Divorces happen, but why it happened, how it's happening, how you're feeling about it, what was going on beforehand. Like, these are all things that are fascinating and can be made funny.
Yeah.
Anyways,
my favorite
my
favorite part of that post interview happened before, when it got real serious, was when I mentioned that I do comedy in French, and then they turned to Joelberg Jimenez, who's the drummer in the band in the back, and he tends to throw in punchlines, and he's of a Mexican descent. So obviously, as soon as I said I do comedy in French, Tony Hinchcliffe turns to Joelberg, said, "Do you ever thought about doing comedy in Spanish, Joelberg?" And he just, Joelberg's like, "No, I don't know if I can do that." And obviously, I saw the opportunity. I had to take it. I know the lesson that you take on Kill Tony's, you don't take a dig at any of these comics, because they're faster than you, and they're so much faster witted than you. But I had to do this. It was perfect timing. And I turned around and I said, "Well, did you actually do comedy in English, Joelberg?" And everyone went nuts. It was the perfect line to say at
good.
that time.
It was good. It got a really good
I don't know.
response.
It came to me, and then Tony was asking, "Well, do you know how to play the drums?"
Yeah,
you know,
he got back at you. He's like, "Oh, you play the drums?"
And I said, "I don't know. Can't play the drums, but if this spot's available, I'll take it."
Yeah,
it was good.
It was
timing.
good.
Yeah.
Like you did good, dude. You were vulnerable. You had some sharp responses. I have to say, it was super impressive. I was super happy for you. Stop looking at the clock. You're spending the rest of the night here.
That's true.
I'm just kidding. No, I'm kidding. It was good. I was really happy for you. So that is also out. So you guys can find the Kill Tony episode from this week, and it's on YouTube as well. So you can actually watch Mikey on stage and all of them talking. You can see the whole exchange.
Yeah, it's. I'll give you the episode number on it too. It's. Let's see.
So you look for that. I'm going to keep going.
Yeah.
So that was our Monday night. Now I was tired. I can't do it like Mikey can. Mikey's in much better shape than I can't do it. I cannot get up I'm also waking up 2 hours before you are.
Yeah.
So that last 2 hours of the day does make a difference. I mean, I'm doing good at trying, but I can't do it. So we did those shows. I think those shows were over at like 10 or 11. We went over to our favorite place in the world, Pinches Tacos. Again, found the right kind of tacos. Magic happened. I went back to the condo. Mikey stayed till God knows when.
Yeah.
This morning we woke up, breakfast again, huge success as always. We did a podcast with my buddy Brian Scalero.
Yep, at his house.
So that podcast will be coming out on Friday. But yeah, podcast with Brian Scalero, amazing, great times. In-N-Out Burger,
Yeah,
We did it again.
because we had to go through the drive-through.
Yeah.
We just needed to something quick. We knew it was on the way, and
It was quick.
it was delicious.
We had such a fucking trouble parking. I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go into it too much. All I'm saying is that we scoped out Brian's area to find
Yeah.
parking, and
And
it was
still.
the biggest. We spent 30 minutes driving around, and to the point where Mikey actually had to drop me off to go inside and get the goddamn podcast started.
yeah,
And
and then I'd go find a parking spot.
and then he went and found this part. So amazing,
Yeah.
amazing co-producer in terms of the podcast interview.
Yeah.
So that was this morning. I think the podcast was fun.
Yeah.
You guys are going to enjoy it.
It's great.
We did our In-N-Out Burger, and then we headed to Burbank to do another podcast with another amazing comedian, a good friend of mine, DJ Demers.
That's right.
So
Stay tuned for that one.
you guys have
that was a
two
great one.
great bonus episodes coming out your way in the near future. So that's been the week thus far. We got back from DJ's thing in Burbank. We were going to go to another club tonight, but we just don't have the energy. And we had to get this podcast done.
Yeah, we need to get this out for you guys. I think that's the thing, right?
We've crossed the 2-hour mark.
Yeah.
All right. And we're just getting ready. So that's the week. That's been the week so far. All that stuff going on. I'm telling you, it's only been what? So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. It's been 5 days. If you include the travel day, the vast majority of the day that was travel.
Yeah.
And we still have 3 days left.
3 days left.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Yep. Jesus, it
gonna
feels
be
like
great.
so much time already.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun. So we've been doing lots of walking.
Yep.
Been good bitches that way. Have been eating bad food, but we've been
But-
offsetting it by drinking this green
kale
kale puke.
slop crap.
Yeah.
The suja.
Like if vegetables could miscarry, that's
Yeah.
what it tastes like.
this is vegetable abortion.
I don't know how plants become pregnant, but if they ever miscarry, that's what that is.
precisely. What
I
that
do
is.
know how plants become pregnant, by the way. I do know how pollination and seed works.
Yeah.
It's
Still.
not actual.
It's when one
Facts
plant
and
really
science
loves
aren't as
another
funny.
plant.
Yeah. When two male plants.
Yeah.
Oh man, I can't wait till our world evolves to the point where plants can choose their own gender.
Oh, that'd be amazing,
You know?
wouldn't it?
Go like
We'd have to ask
I'm
it.
flowering, but I would much rather be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's
It
that's
identifies
when Mother
as-
Nature starts being accepting of
Yeah.
all things.
We'll see.
So yeah, we've been doing good exercise. We've been eating good in the morning, but we've been eating like shit in the afternoon, evening. There's an interesting. I wanted to talk about this. I want to be very, very quick about it, just to share. There's an interesting dynamic behind the Comedy Store.
Yeah.
So the way it works, guys, there's a parking lot behind the Comedy Store, but they jam the cars, they double and triple park the cars. So it's been interesting standing there watching comics come and go and
Yeah.
shoot the shit in the back because there's like a valet.
Yeah.
People-
door guys,
yeah.
a valet.
People are not allowed to walk in the back parking lot. No
No.
one's allowed there except for the comics and the valet door guy that parks
And they're
the
not allowed
cars.
to park there unless you are a paid regular.
Correct. It's not for anybody.
Yeah, it's not just for anybody.
So
That's
it's a-
a very exclusive parking lot for
Yeah.
it. It's very limited.
And
too,
it's
so
interesting to just watch there's basically a door guy who constantly
Yeah.
is moving vehicles.
That's his job for the
double
night.
and triple parking and moving the vehicles so that comics can come and go is very, very interesting.
They figured out the timing too. They know their schedule.
Yeah.
So if they know that they're only doing one spot and they need to get out, then they'll
They'll put the car
put the
in a
car
certain
ready
area,
to go out.
whatever.
It's incredible the way they do that.
Yeah,
I have to
it's
give them credit.
I can't describe it in words. All
Yeah.
all you got to think is it's just like a double, triple park. Like if you ever park in a parking garage and they're like, yeah, give us your keys, and they know they double, triple park. It's the same idea, but
same
it's just
idea.
one guy doing like 20, 30 cars.
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive. So I just want to say that's a very interesting. I've never seen that at a comedy club before.
No.
They're just constantly organizing vehicles behind, but it's very, very cool.
It's cool.
Also saw this on our Uber driver when we were coming up
Yeah.
from LAX. We got in the car, and right in his center console was like a plastic case with all these different cookies and Skittles and
Yeah.
snacks and bars and all these things. And I was like, hey, what's the deal with this? Like, you sell stuff? He's like, no, there's like free stuff there. I'm like,
Okay.
free stuff. He's like, yeah, like you can have like free Skittles, or there's like these oatmeal cookies that are free, or, I've got these like German cookie thing. I'm like, what are you talking about? Free? Why is it free? Because
Yeah.
immediately my
What's the
brain
catch
go like,
here?
yeah, immediately my brain is like, well, how the fuck does that make any sense? How do they make money? Right? At the end of the day, I know that nobody does anything for nothing. It's not like, oh no, it's just a free gift from, no. It's to get something. You get a free blanket when you sign up for a MasterCard. What's in it for them? You sign up for a MasterCard, they're going to get your goddamn interest money. Right? So I'm trying to figure out from this guy, and this guy was a nice guy, very nice guy. But he just wasn't, he was on I don't know. I feel like he was socially awkward. Is that
Yeah,
fair? Is that
fairly.
fair?
Yeah,
Socially awkward
He's
because
very socially awkward. You could tell he was like a like he wasn't a storyteller. He was definitely someone who I almost felt like he just didn't want to talk. He would have been just
think so?
fine if we didn't talk. Or if he had the light talk, like once I got him talking about punk music and stuff like that,
Yeah,
then it
you
was
guys were
like,
fine.
yeah, we're fine after that. I was just trying to relate to him in some way, but before that, he was just like,
He's just like, yeah, there's free. It's like free. You have like cookies or something, and sometimes
Yeah.
they give me some money if you get the cookies. And I'm like, I'm
How
sitting here
does
going,
this
I'm like,
work?
you're getting paid money. I'm getting free stuff. What business model is this? So eventually, and I got to say, it was quite the eventuality. I got him to explain that these things are new products. So they're like new flavors of things. Like the Skittles that we got were like sweet heat. So they're like sweet and then spicy Skittles.
yeah, they say fruity flavors with a spicy kick. They got sizzling strawberry, blazing mango, lemon. We're giving them free fucking plugs for this shit, but
Yeah.
Skittles sweet heat, and we had a little sort of like a one of those Halloween candy sized
Yeah.
samples of it.
And so what happened was I got it out of them that these are new flavors of things. And effectively, this is a way for them to sample out stuff. So what happens is they've got like a little URL on the box and a code that's specific to his Uber, whatever. And I guess it links with his Uber account. So what's happening is it's very similar to what I do, is where I give away samples in hopes that you'll buy the products. So rather than a marketing company paying someone like me to stand in a place and hand out something, this is clearly a company that gets a bunch of products to give them the products. Then
Right.
they put them in cabs, and if people sign up for them, and some of them were like, like $1 or whatever. But
Yeah.
it's still like, it's like some of it's free, some of it's $1. But the idea is that products are being given away or marketed. You're trying sample versions of them, and they pay the driver for pushing people to try them, and they pay, and they're basically giving something free to the recipient. So I was saying, like, dude, you should just be like, hey, free samples. Do you want a free sample of something? Cool. You just entered in this URL on your phone and punch in that code. And it took like 2 seconds.
Yeah, it was quick too.
Both Mike and I did. And he was telling me that he made like $10 from that.
Yeah.
He made $10 because both of us caught 3 free things. Imagine that, guys. The next time you jump in your Uber, you can get cookies, Skittles, something. Costs you nothing. You just gave your driver a $5
It was like
tip.
a tip, man.
Yeah. So I was like, I fucking wish this company would be in Canada. I have the picture on my
URL.
phone. I might post it. I got all sorts of shit. Guys, I've been taking so many pictures. Anything I forget, anything you want to know, I will tell you about. But I found that interesting. 'Cause you know what? You guys know I drive Uber. I would love that in my car because every time someone gets in, they can give me a $5. I can make an extra $5. Do you know how
Yeah.
much more money I would make every single fucking day? I'm already doing these promos, whatever. I thought that was particularly interesting as a business model, and it makes sense. If you're trying new products, yes, give away free samples, but you're only giving away you're only getting paid when you give the sample away.
Yeah, if you can somehow get someone
Which,
to
great.
convince themselves to sign up for, well, they're not even asking for any of our information.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing.
They just want some sort of confirmation. Maybe it's like a
Yeah.
IP or something, but the idea is they just want some confirmation that someone's actually going in instead of the driver going, I gave away 10 samples and
Yeah.
you owe me this much. No, it's a phone that's logged in, punches in the number. He gets paid because it's basically him pushing the product sample.
Yeah,
But you're getting paid by the sample.
that's right.
So you don't do it, you don't get paid. You do it, you do get paid.
Yeah.
Very easy. A great way to make sure that the money is actually working. They send him the stock. Anyways, whatever. Very cool thing I saw
Cool.
in Los Angeles. Last talking point I will say prior to us starting is there are these silly little fucking electric scooters all over this goddamn city. They're called Birds, BIRD. Not that,
Yeah.
I'm just saying, just letting you, just in case you heard it, and you're like, birds?
Yeah.
No, bird, BIRD, tweet. Mikey looked into it specifically because we kept seeing them everywhere. But the idea is like you get on the scooter, put your credit card in it, and you just zip around on these little electric scooters. And you ditch them. You don't put them back on a bike rack.
So you don't even put a credit card in it. You download the app
Oh, okay.
and you scan the bird with your app, and then that unlocks it.
I see.
And from what you understand is it's an electric thing. It's electric powered. There's a trigger for the throttle. You're required to push 3 times on it, like kind of get it going, and then the throttle will kick in, and then you'll go.
Yeah.
And it's $1 to start.
And then 15 cents a
15 cents, and Los Angeles, 15 cents for every minute that you use it.
Yeah.
It doesn't go by distance and whatever. And then I guess when you're done with it, you just
Leave it there.
on
Yeah.
the side of the street.
Like you would take this.
Yeah.
Yeah. You get on it. Let's just say you get in on one in front of yours because they're sitting on side streets. They're sitting on main. They're sitting all over the fucking place, just like abandoned. Like, but that's the whole system. It's so like, for example, these people took, there was a group of 4 people that took them to the Comedy Store.
Yeah.
We were sitting on the patio. These 4 people got off them and walked into the Comedy Store.
Yeah.
And
they were
I
just
looked
there.
at Mike and I was like, you know what's funny? Because like these people, I wonder if these people expect them to be there when they get out. And it's like, no. In fact, other people got on them,
Yeah.
just walked up, got on them, tapped their thing and fucked off of them.
Yeah.
There's people buzzing around on these things all over the place. They're electric.
Yeah.
Now I know my Canadian listeners, which are the vast majority of my listeners, are like, well, that guys, it would never work in our city because of snow and all that other shit.
Right.
But in a place like Los Angeles, where it's sunny all the time, you leave these little fucking things out, get on it, tap a thing, and then you screw off. Dude, we have to try one before we leave. We have to
do.
find some reason to fucking do it.
Yeah, and I found out too the other model that's interesting because I always wondered like, what do you do like when you just leave these?
Yeah,
food?
like, they must die. The
They
batteries
must die at some
on them.
point. And sure enough, there's a system in place where you can sign up, and you can pick these things up, bring them home with you, and then you charge it overnight at your house. You pay to charge it, and they'll pay you to charge these things up. I don't, there's a term for it, but yeah, you're basically they're going to pay you to charge these things up and keep them at your house, and then
you just go
release them
throw it
back in the
on your
wild.
lawn. Yeah.
Yeah, just throw it back on the main street and you're done, right? And I bet you if someone who's very lucrative drives around in a truck and picks these things up, brings them all to his house and has this big rig thing in his garage where he just sets it up and plugs a bunch of them in, he probably makes a freaking killing.
It's got to be relative to like the electrical cost of actually doing that. Like your hydro bill
Yeah.
obviously goes up, but because these systems are in place to like not really pay you that well.
No.
Because if you did, they would just collect them and charge them themselves. Then again, you're factoring everything in, but
No, if I was renting a place and I didn't pay hydro, then that's exactly what I would do.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Absolutely.
But then you'd have to hope that people were dropping these little fuckers off right at your house. Otherwise, you're wasting your gas going around collecting.
That's true.
But
Unless
it's-
you had an electric car.
It's interesting, guys. Like these things are fucking everywhere.
And they're annoying.
They're every time we go for a walk,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, we see a bunch of them mostly because Mike doesn't know where he's going and we just follow him around
thanks,
for a while.
thanks.
We see a shitload of birds, but just interesting. A thing here in California that you'd never see up in Ottawa, Toronto,
No.
all the places, you know what I mean? Like
Maybe
with snow.
soon though, but we'll see. In the first summertime, I could see that happening because we do see the Bixie bikes and the rental bikes and stuff.
Yeah,
So,
but those, and that's the thing with those guys is like my brain goes, okay, well, those you pick them up and then 24 hours later you drop them back off where you got them.
Yeah.
It's like a Blockbuster video of bicycles.
Yeah.
But no, this is basically you just ride it, you get the fuck off of it when you're done, and that's it. It charges you for your little ride. It's like little scooter Ubers.
It's when you didn't want to. It's when you didn't want to walk.
They're not called scooters. What are those?
They're
things
like a
called?
scooter.
Was that what called?
It's like a push scooter. So we're talking like
the little flat bar on the bottom with the handlebars that come out of it.
the ones
it's
that
like
you
a skateboard
see
with
annoying,
handlebars.
Yeah, you see the annoying kids you see running around with those things all
Yeah.
the time. And like every time I see someone who's like an adult riding those push scooters, I immediately think pedophile. I don't know why. I'm like, because no one seriously should be riding those things,
Right?
ever. Yeah.
Well, we've got so guys. Here's where we're at. All right, we're at the midsection of the podcast. Sponsors are coming up. I want to just say this: contact@onemanpodcast.com. You're all superheroes for listening this far. Appreciate it. Keep it going. We're gonna be doing some other shit coming up here. I think Mike needs to go to the bathroom, so you go ahead. I'm trying to figure out what that hand signal was. It looked like you were trying to pretend someone was blowing you. Yeah, so it's been a fucking great week so far. We're jamming every day full of shit. I'm exhausted. I want to throw in the towel, but I don't want to miss opportunities. I don't want to waste any time on this trip. Having a blast. We will keep the fun shit going with you guys. Sending any emails, contact@onemanpodcast.com. We still have a few days here for next episode. So very excited to talk to you guys about that. In the meantime, I just wanted to say one thing that I'm watching. I've watched one episode of Making a Murderer. I thought I was going to get more of it done on the plane, but I didn't. For some reason, episode 2 didn't download, and I feel like I can't just get into a whole season of something. So I'd love to know what your thoughts are on it. Send me what you want, but if you send me something about Making a Murderer 2, I won't read the email until I've finished watching it. And again, we try to be respectful of each other, right? No spoilers, if avoidable, would be great. It's sponsor time, motherfuckers. And who are my sponsors? You know who it is, my partners at portablepress.com, Uncle John's Bathroom Reader. And this week, we're going to be reading from a brand new edition of Uncle John's Bathroom Reader. It's Uncle John's actual and factual bathroom reader, tried and tested truths and trivias, guys. This is their 31st annual edition. And I'm actually pulling it up here. Mike is going to help me get through these.
Yeah.
With all of the things, the way things have been going these days, in terms of just, I'm trying to. Oh, it's enhancing the photo. Lovely.
Enhance.
Enhance. So the way things have been going, both Mikey and myself have been out. You know, we're single bachelor
Yeah.
dudes. You know what I mean? We're in Los Angeles. Not to say that we're doing anything. I'm trying to find a way to fucking throw to this goddamn plug.
Well, I mean, I did mention that I was at Kill Tony and that all the shit that happened with me and all the tough divorce stuff, which evidently leads to the fact that I am in fact dating.
Yeah.
I'm out there,
And
I
there's-
guess, in some way.
There's dating and there's terminology for the dating world.
Apparently.
You're dating, buddy. You may be serendipin dating.
Serendipity.
Oh, look at me throwing right to that. This article is called "I'm Serendipin Dating." Okay, Jesus Christ! If you haven't been on the market in a while, you'll be amazed at how much dating lingo has changed, thanks largely to smartphones and social media. Here are some terms for you to learn, just in case you need them
I
someday.
need to learn these. That's weird. Some of these I haven't heard of before.
I didn't read them all. I only read two
Yeah,
of them,
yeah,
and I was
yeah.
like, "This will work perfect." So,
Perfect.
benching and back burnering. That's weird. So, benching or back burnering, when you don't want to date someone, but you string them along to keep them from looking for someone else. Similar to athletes who are on the team but never leave the bench.
I could see that.
That's a shitty thing to
That's
do.
a shitty thing. Well, I think the thing with these apps is you're getting a ton of people all at once, and then you're like, I want to see where this goes, but I also like you too, so I'm going to kind of keep you in the back burner and come back and then come back to you later. I don't know.
The fact, I mean, I don't think that's a nice thing to do. But here's
No.
the thing: that it's so much that there's so much of it being done that there's actually a term for it. I think that's what bothers me.
that seems typical. Yeah. The next one is fire dooring, which is when someone contacts you via text or social media, but doesn't respond to your replies. Now, fire doors open from the inside but are locked on the outside. Oh, okay.
So they can send you shit, but they never respond. Wait a second. Does that make sense? When someone
Yeah.
contacts you via text or social media, but doesn't respond to your replies, so they message you and then you respond, and then there's nothing.
That's right. So they'll
it's
say,
just like-
"Hey, how you doing?" Blah blah blah, and you respond back, and then it's like a void. It's like you're
So it's like
screaming.
it's
into
like
the void.
ghosting. I think that's a better example of ghosting because a ghost will make a noise, and you're like, "Hello, is anyone there?" And then nothing.
I think it's more along the lines of texting on their terms at all times.
Yeah, that's
Like, yeah, it's just another shitty thing. And this is all shitty things.
Doesn't that sound like the desperate person? Like you
Yeah.
message them and they respond, and it's like then nothing. You're like, "Oh, it's only when it's good for you."
These are all shitty things.
Well, here's catfishing. So creating a fake online persona complete with fake photos and phony details and pretending to be that person while flirting online. Now they call there's that.
Yeah, I knew
That's
that
just
one.
someone that's just someone being and oh, you knew that term?
Yeah, there's a movie called Catfish
Oh, I
that
didn't
talks
know that.
about this.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah,
Oh, and there's a derivative. There you go.
yeah. So the next one would be kitten fishing. It's like catfishing, but using your own exaggerated information and doctored images to create the impression that you're smarter, younger, wealthier, or better looking than you really are.
That's called fucking online dating.
That's called Los Angeles, especially.
Yeah.
I think the last time I was online, I browsed or I looked at someone's. I went through the profile of Bumble and I looked, and I could see right away. A lot of people who are self-employed, who are entrepreneurs was the big one. I think that they used. A lot of people are entrepreneurs. Yeah, we know you're driving Uber, and we know you're living in a really
an
crappy
entrepreneur,
apartment
and I
in
drive
Los Feliz. I get it, and so you have beautiful pictures. I have to say, beautiful pictures. But at the same time, I'm sure if I met you, I would find you equally uninteresting.
We got cushioning, which is keeping in contact with one or more prospects just in case your current relationship sours. So they will cushion your fall. That's the same as fucking benching, I think.
Backbenching, yeah, whatever. Window shopping, which is interacting with someone on social media without any intention of meeting them in person. That's just string. That's where you just
At
want
least
to
that
talk
makes
to
sense.
somebody.
That makes sense, and it's different.
No one
okay
gets
with that.
hurt with that though. Like even you're wasting someone's time.
All it
I
says
have
is
to say.
interacting with someone on social media without
Yeah.
any intention of meeting them in person.
Yeah.
It doesn't say leading them on. Without
No.
any intention of meeting them in
You're
person.
interacting
So we got mooning, which I already know what that means, but I guess there's a social media version.
apparently.
Setting your phone to send a particular person straight to voicemail whenever they call. The do not disturb icon on the iPhone is a moon.
That's why. So you're basically. I don't know if that's I hate that term. That's basically just not answering someone's calls.
Yeah, you just block them. That's all you just. That's what it sounds like. You've blocked them so that they just go to voicemail. It's like blocking, but you still get the voicemail.
Right. Yeah, it's just I kind of get that though. I sometimes don't want to talk on the phone because
But you don't set it always to block them no matter what. You just kind of ignore the call when it comes, right? Or do you actually set someone so that you never get their call?
whenever they call. This would be a direct. Yeah.
You can do that. Have you ever made that mistake? I got in a big fight with Crystal one time.
Yeah.
Well, not really a big fight. She was understandably upset because she was trying to contact me all night.
Yeah.
And I never got the messages because I had accidentally put her on Do Not Disturb.
Do not disturb. Yeah,
So what that
yeah,
meant
yeah.
was
It's like,
every
fuck
time
off.
she called or messaged, I never got it.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So that's the thing. But that's what I'm saying. Yeah, there's sometimes you can't talk to someone, you send them to voicemail. But when you set them deliberately to
That's more a
that's
specific
what mooning,
thing.
I think means.
Because I oftentimes get calls and I'll just won't answer them because I think, you know what, unless you texted me first saying, hey, can I call you? It sounds odd to say, but a call requires an immediate attention. It's like whatever you're doing, drop it and answer the phone so that you can deal with whatever the heck I'm dealing with on the phone. And I think a text can always be sort of like dealt with after the fact. It doesn't have to be responded right away. I can read it. If I'm in the middle of something, I can just, maybe someone can't.
That's a reasonable policy,
reasonable
but some
policy.
people get really mad when you don't text them back.
That too. I've done that too.
Yeah.
I'm not the greatest for that either. Yeah. But at the same time, it's like, I've made an effort to text people back now. If someone texts me, I will text back and I'll continue a conversation. So, yeah. The next one is catch and release. Someone who's more interested in landing a date with someone than continuing to see them forward. As soon as they catch someone, they release them.
It's not, yeah. I've seen lots of different levels of that. It's basically going, I want you until I get your. It's like the chase. As soon as you chase them, and then they go, oh, okay, let's try.
Thanks,
something.
it's
They're
over.
Like, nah.
You're too easy.
Yeah, I know. Now that I know I can have you, I don't want you.
Yeah.
Right. Emergency call. Arranging for a friend to call you in the middle of your date so that if it's going badly, you can pretend the call is an emergency and end the date. I have to go. My dog is sick. I don't
totally
think some
heard
people would
this.
understand that one.
Oh, I think a lot of women do.
Dog?
This.
My dog is sick?
Well, yeah, no. I mean, if would you say like, I mean, yeah, I have to go. My dog is sick. Like, yeah, something would be a bullshit excuse to get the hell out. But
I think you almost know, like, my dog is sick. It's like, how do you know? Someone's at your house watching your dog?
yeah, maybe that they have a roommate or something like that.
Smell bullshit.
But I would smell bullshit too. But all it is really is.
I mean, that's an example, by the way.
I think a lot of women do this too because I think that's the thing they're taught where they're like, if they're going on a first date, is he creepy or not? And do I need to get the hell out of here?
He said he didn't have any pets.
Yeah, yeah. So the next one is, I guess the
titular.
titular one, serendipitating, which is repeatedly putting off a date with someone in the hope that someone better will come along.
There's a lot of that benching and
That
fucking
similar-
not mooning, but what is it? The cushioning,
Cushioning,
benching,
yeah.
serendipitating. It's all similar. I guess you have to decide which one is so fucking specific to exactly what you're doing.
Well, this one is setting up a date, constantly putting off, like, oh, I got to set up, and no, I can't make it, blah, 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 and just putting off a
couldn't you
date,
say
never
that's
doing it,
benching?
because in between, well, no, benching is where you've actually, you don't want to date someone, but you string them along, and you keep looking for someone else.
But
You don't
this
actually.
is saying that in the hopes that someone better will come along. So it sounds like you don't really want to date this person either.
That's true.
You know what?
Or do you want to-
I think
yeah,
this is
it's
filler.
shitty.
I think they should have put all three of them together
Yeah, it
and
should have
really,
been
really
one
describe them.
term, all three terms, yeah.
So we got cricketing / R bombing. R bomb. When you read a message someone sent to you, some apps like Facebook Messenger notify the sender you've read it, but don't respond.
Right.
The sender can tell you're ignoring them.
Yeah.
cricketing.
I think that started a lot with BlackBerry Messenger.
Yeah.
Because BlackBerry Messenger initially was the first messenger I remember that you could tell if someone actually read it or was delivered.
I turn
and
off the
what
read.
time.
I turn off the read receipts on my iPhone.
Yeah, but BBM didn't do that. You
Nope,
had to.
BBM did not, and Facebook Messenger doesn't.
Yeah, it doesn't.
So,
There's no way to turn that
There's
off.
strategies.
Yes.
Right? When someone messages you, sometimes if your window's already open,
Yeah,
you'll see what the message is, but it's still flashing because you haven't clicked on the
that's
window.
it. As soon as you click on the
So as
little
soon as you
notification,
click on,
yeah,
then you can see that it's there.
Yeah, that's like
I got
intentional.
skills. I got skills.
But yeah, I mean, I get that when sometimes you just don't respond, and you know you've read it. I think it's a question of focus. Like sometimes I'm doing something during the day, I can't respond.
Right.
And even if I say okay, that's like saying, oh, that's inviting you to respond. I think it's ruder. Especially if it's something that requires a fair amount of response, it's ruder to just say okay or a single line word and then ignore them after. So I'd prefer to just get the message and come back to that later. Now, sometimes forget. It's really bad
fuck
on
it.
me.
That's not that
It
important.
happens. It happens. The next one is flexting, which is boasting online to impress someone you're hoping to date.
Makes sense. It sounds more like that.
That's peacocking.
It sounds like
I like peacocking.
Well, what's
better
that
for
thing? Catfishing and kitten fishing and
Yeah.
and what is it? All those ones that are like, oh, just basically boasting something that you're not.
Yeah.
I think it's the same thing. You're just overtly doing it. Monkeying,
Ooh.
which I love the word monkey, so I'm already on board. Moving from one relationship to another without pausing in between, like a monkey swinging from one rope to another. They swing on vines, God damn it. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. Monkeying, I guess
That makes sense.
I get it.
The next one is the last one
final,
here.
yeah.
Final one is a turkey dump. Yeah, I kind of like.
And
the
I've
name
heard of this
already.
one before.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I heard this one before.
It's one of
years and years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, it was when a freshman comes home from college or freshman home from college for Thanksgiving dumps their hometown boyfriend or girlfriend because long distance relationships are too difficult or because they found a new friend.
Yeah.
I think you see
I
this
knew
often.
in quotes. I like that too. It's like they have found a new friend.
Friend.
Yep.
I think that happens. I could see that often. Small towns especially.
That's the one that makes sense. And that one's almost like
Yeah.
instead of it being like a giant piece. Like here's the thing. A lot of the other ones, monkeying doesn't. It sounds like a cute way of saying someone just moves from relationship to relationship. That one I get. All the other ones kind of feel like a bit of a dick move. Turkey dump, while it's kind of heartbreaking, it doesn't sound like an intentional thing. So
No.
turkey dump, the reason they call it that is you're breaking up at Thanksgiving turkey season, right? Makes sense.
That time.
And generally
It seems
speaking,
to be around that time.
because they say when they come home for Thanksgiving, this is an important one. That tends to be the first trip home when you go away to school.
That's right.
Thanksgiving in Canada, October, in the States, November. The idea is that they've left a small town to go to school, university, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Now they get a big idea like, oh my God, there's so many different people out there, more people that I click with, whatever. All of a sudden, one of 12 girls that you were dating, not that you're dating 12, but like your small town, there's 12 women that you could have dated. You're dating one of them, and to you, you're like, I got the best of 12. You go off to school with hundreds, you're like, holy shit, there's way more people, way more people I click with. So the first time you go home, it's like you've already realized that, you're going to be. Here's the thing, the turkey dump might be on the way out. Because there are more and more people who are totally fine with dumping someone via text.
That's right.
This was almost like, hey, this is the first time I'm going to see them to do it in person.
Yeah. Now I think
Now it's like people are like learning
I
how
don't
to.
care. We'll just do it long distance.
There's
we don't
probably
have to do it in person.
Yeah, there's probably 1,000 blogs that exist on how to break up with someone
Yeah.
via text in a non,
There's probably an
way.
app that does it for you automatically. Right? Like
really
an
funny.
AI that'll actually respond back to you and be like, make it. Yeah, it's not you.
The
it's
actual
me.
turkey dump doesn't sound malicious because
No.
of the whole fact that you see the person face to face, and that whole, like I said, long distance relationships are difficult, right? So it could be just this is really hard, boom,
Yeah.
or like it says, they found a new friend. The idea is they have actually clicked with someone
Found
on a
somebody
deeper
else,
level,
yeah, and I
not
can
just
see that.
hey, I'm the young farm boy and I'm hot, and you're the young farm girl and you're hot. Let's make hot babies that can't read because we're from a small.
But that's a part of maturing, though, right? Like
Right.
someone getting out of their comfort zone, going up to college, and then becoming more of an adult, and just discovering the world. I don't think anybody should.
fuck are you right now? Poetry speaking. Someone who's just coming in, they're growing, they're getting older.
Here we are at
Just
NPR
discovering a new
News.
world.
No, yeah, that happens. People go off and they go discover themselves and they have that experience. And it's that really interesting time where you think you know everything when you're 18, 17, when you're first
I do
going
know
to
everything,
college.
Mike. You know everything.
Yeah.
You know where the fucking the car is. You know the goddamn
Yeah,
tacos that
I
I
say it
like.
with confidence. Thank you very much. And then you think you know everything, and then you think you've got this relationship. I don't blame the relationship was probably very strong initially, but as soon as you come back from school, their first few months of school as
and
a
they've taught
freshman,
these small town people how to read.
yeah, right, and they've given them soap. And they've but you've got all these people who are just like they've just matured. It was like it's a milestone, and then you're doing it at the same time. You're discovering yourself. You're finally outside of your element. I guess that's the North American college.
I spent a lot
experience.
of my early teens discovering myself.
Yeah, same here.
Discovering myself right
You
into a
know.
Kleenex.
But yeah, I get that, and I completely understand where they're coming from. It's just natural. It's what's going to happen.
Yeah, man. Well,
it.
that was I'm serendipity.
Serendipity.
The running feed at the bottom of the page says small houseflies do not grow up to be big houseflies. They emerge from the larval state fully grown. Larval stage, sorry, fully grown. And that, my friends, is Uncle John's Bathroom Reader, portablepress.com. Check out what they got. Like I said, this is from the new edition, Actual and Factual. All right. So check that out. The 31st Bathroom Reader. As always, my partners at Absolute Comedy. All right. I have never been so far from home in my entire life, my home club of Absolute Comedy. But, I'd like to think that here in Los Angeles, my home club is the Comedy Store, but they're not sponsors yet.
Not yet. No,
So I will just say that I miss, while I'm performing on iconic stages, I still have comics here, surprisingly, who, when I talk about where I'm from and they say, oh, like what club's out there, and I say Absolute Comedy, they have heard of it here in Los Angeles. A lot of people, the reputation precedes itself. There's lots of comics right here in Los Angeles who have worked Absolute. So, while I'm here, serendipidating other fucking clubs, I'm missing my home club of Absolute Comedy. Can't wait to get back on its warm stage, make people laugh. In the meantime, guys, you can check out what shows are going on at absolutecomedy.ca. Absolute Comedy is the best live stand-up comedy from across North America, with locations in Kingston, Toronto, and Ottawa, Ontario. These comedians have been featured on Just for Laughs, Netflix, Comedy Central, CBC's The Debaters, Jimmy Kimmel Live, Conan, The Comedy Network, and much, much more. Go to absolutecomedy.ca to see this week's lineup. Planning a night out is easy with dinner and show packages available at all locations. Live comedy is a great choice if you're organizing a celebration, fundraiser, company outing, or corporate event. Want the show brought to you? They'll send comedians to your venue with performances tailored to your event, creating a night of laughs your guests will love and won't soon forget. So for showtimes, ticket prices, gift certificates, special shows, and more, head to absolutecomedy.ca. Again, that's absolutecomedy.ca for the best live stand-up comedy from across North America. The sun gives life to the orchard. The orchard gives life to the apple. The apple gives life to Summersby. Summersby is a delicious sweet taste of sunshine, imported across the ocean, all the way from Denmark. The people in Denmark are smarter, and so are you, if you drink Summersby. With flavors like apple, blackberry, pear, elderflower lime, red rhubarb, and a taste as regal as this fake accent, there's something for everyone to enjoy. And now you can try them all in the Summersby Mixer Pack, available wherever fine beverages are sold. So go on and try for yourself the crisp, refreshing taste of Summersby. Your taste buds deserve it. Please drink resplendently. And we're back. You know what's funny? I've been wearing the only hat I've been wearing in Los Angeles is my Summersby hat.
Yeah. On stage, too.
Oh my God. Aren't I a good bitch? Some of these iconic stages wearing Summersby. I'm such a good thing. Actually, when we were at the Improv, someone looked over at me and they're like, is that your John Deere? And I thought someone was parked in their lot and they thought maybe it was me or something that. And he was looking at the hat in the dark, the Summersby logo, and he thought it was John Deere. And as soon as I understood it, he said, right as I was understanding, he asked me a second time, he's like, is that John Deere? And I go, no, I can read. That's because everyone's walking around with a John Deere hat on some country. And it relates back to me making fun of the country people saying, acting like country people are dumb. Country people aren't dumb, but you ever do that thing? Before I move on to my last sponsor, because I was like, oh, did I forget anybody? No, I didn't. I didn't fucking forget them. Have you ever had somebody like you're talking to them and then they're like, oh, I'm from the country. Don't you have that initial knee-jerk reaction like, oh, I better just use smaller words? Do you not just assume naturally that people from the country just kind of know less?
This is a fork.
Is that a reference? Is that something?
No.
That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
It's not even fair, but it's just, I have this
stereotype.
immediate, but do you think the same thing when someone's like, from the country, like immediately, you're not saying that it's stupid, but just a part of you just immediately assumes that they just know less. They just don't know as
and
much.
So untrue in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
A lot of ways. If you understood how farming works, you would understand like there's so much mental calculation and mathematics that's involved, and it's incredible. And the amount of labor work it takes, it's just, and
they have
big ups to the farmers.
They have a fucking work ethic too
incredible.
That sometimes people in the city couldn't even shake a stick at. My partners, guys, who did I forget? I didn't forget him. No. DK. Did I drive all the way to the goddamn Hollywood Hills to take a picture of this week's book? You goddamn right we did. All right. We took beautiful pictures of this. We are in the place where movies are made. All right. We got Universal Studios. We got Walt Disney Studios. We drove past Warner Brothers Studios.
All of them.
Okay. That's where all the studios are. You know who else is here? Marvel Studios, motherfuckers. And this week, we are rewarding. Come on. I shouldn't have been drinking my goddamn spicy eggnog here. We got Marvel Studios Visual Dictionary, guys. All of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Basically, what this is, it's a great little guide. It's organized as always, like all good things DK. All right. And you go, why would I want a visual dictionary? Okay. Well, you know what? Sometimes maybe you're watching the thing. You're like, hey, what was that thing that Okoye was swinging around? Who's Okoye? I don't know. Maybe Black Panther's honor guard.
Yeah.
Okay. Michonne in the future actually works in Wakanda.
Right.
All right.
Right.
She lost her job
Right.
to a no, I'm just kidding.
There's her backstory.
As is the theme out here. Listen, guys, this book is amazing because not only it goes through every character in the movies and things like that. At the same time, it shows the characters, the different kind of weapons that they use, the things, their stories and backgrounds on all the different equipment and stuff. Not a lot to say on it. It's a great book. It's filled with beautiful colored imagery, as always, with all the different things, all the different parts of the Captain America uniform. So Captain America's uniform has changed over the course of the films.
Yeah.
He's got in the Winter Soldier, he's wearing what they call the stealth suit, where there isn't a lot of red. It's just basically a dark blue suit with some gray, stars and stripes on it. But it's showing you all the different aspects of Captain America's suit, all the different straps and add-ons that he has and what they are, what they're called, how they've come to play in the movies and things like that. So this being the Halloween season.
Yeah, where people are going
Right?
to be getting dressed up and stuff.
Yeah,
This is
everybody's excited for this shit.
You know what this would also be good for is someone who's into cosplaying. Like if you want to do cosplay, you go through this and you look at the dictionary, and this will give you the reference pictures you need to go at. It has like highlights sort of parts of the costume you would have not have noticed. And if you're a cosplayer, this is definitely something you want to get into.
Absolutely. Even if you're an adult, Mikey, you got kids.
Yeah.
What if you were trying to, make the costume for your kids or get the pieces that you need to bring
That's
something
right.
together? This really breaks down everything and lets you know what's important. And you can even cosplay as like Tony Stark
Yeah.
with just his arc reactor.
And then you can go on Hollywood Boulevard and charge people money to take a picture
to take
of you.
pictures with
Yeah.
you. It's a great book, guys. As always, if you're like me and you're kind of nerdy, you're all about the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's a great one to have on the shelf. As always, on the social media, I've got the links for this, so you can pick it up at dk.com/ca, dk.com for my listeners in the States. All right. So just, it's like I said, can't go, I don't want to go into it long. You've been listening so much and there isn't a ton of stuff to say, but it's a wealth of knowledge. It's like trying to, it's not an encyclopedia. DK never does the kind of thing where they just bore you with shit. The imagery is great. The amount of details on every page, the I say illustrations, not they're pictures, the imagery.
Yeah, they're some of them are illustrations, but sometimes they're concept drawings and you see them and it's really cool. Like, yeah, they even do like highlights of the actual weapons themselves or the helmet of something or, it just gives you fleshes out the world of Marvel, the Marvel universe.
Absolutely.
It's cool.
I find it very, very cool. But anyway, so that's the one, guys. Here in Tinseltown with all the studios this week, we've got Marvel Studios Visual Dictionary. Check that out. Of course, if you want to know any more about it than anything that I didn't say, please feel free to message, contact@onemanpodcast.com. So thank you to all my sponsors, dk.com/ca, Summersby, absolutecomedy.ca, and of course, portablepress.com, the Uncle John's bathroom readers. Coming up this week, guys, for Tuesday, they're coming up this week in terms of what's going on for the rest of the night. Mikey's going to try to make his way over to the Comedy Store.
Yeah, hopefully at some point. Yeah.
I hope he has a wonderful time there. I am going to be editing the shit out of 2 interviews that we did, plus this podcast. A lot of stuff to do. Tomorrow, bright and early, up at it again.
Yeah.
Mikey and I are going to go all the way down to what the fuck is it called? Santa Monica.
Monica.
We're right off the fucking street.
Yeah.
Santa Monica. So actually Santa Monica, not Santa Monica Boulevard where we're staying.
No.
We're going to go record a podcast with Andy Hendrickson, another
right.
good friend, super, super good dude.
That'd be a great episode.
He's done Letterman. He's crushing fucking, like, if you listen to Laugh USA on satellite radio, which is one of the greatest channels, it's clean comedy. Andy's like the fucking king of that station.
Yeah.
He's on it all the time. We leave Andy's place. We come back, and where are we going, Mikey?
Then after that, we're going to Comedy and Magic. No, sorry. That's my
The highlight of the week.
That's right. We are going to a little place called the El Capitan Theater on Hollywood Boulevard to go see, and this is a big name, none other than Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah, we're going to Jimmy Kimmel live taping.
Wow.
So where I don't want to jinx it by telling
No.
you guys before it happens. You will be listening to this podcast sometime
There's
during
something
the day
extra that might
as we're getting ready to go to this.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you listen to it late. But all you guys who are here day one, you listen to it as it happens. You will be listening to this podcast while Mikey and I are either on our way or basically doing the Jimmy Kimmel live taping.
Yeah.
So we're going to be audience members. It's my understanding that we are actually doing a little bit more.
Yes.
I can't jinx it.
Nope.
So we're just going to listen. Well, you just have to tune in next week.
You're just actually gonna have to follow us on social media.
Yeah. Whatever.
Just follow us on social media and follow the One Man Podcast Instagram and Facebook feeds, and you're gonna see what really
what's
happened.
your stuff? Let's get you in.
Yeah,
on
let's
this.
get around. My I like Instagram a lot. So Instagram is Mike LeBlanc Comedy, all one word. And then I got Twitter. It's Mike LeBlanc HaHa HAHA. And under Facebook, you can find me at facebook.com/Mike LeBlanc Comedy.
There you go. Mikey's going to be on there. So make sure you follow him too. You'll see what he's up to. I'd say, I mean, hell, you could probably see what he gets up to later on tonight. 'Cause
Maybe.
it won't be
Who
on
knows?
mine.
Yeah.
And then we're going to the Comedy Magic Club, a staple out here, the
right.
absolute comedy of California, some might say.
Yeah, apparently.
But we're going to go check out a show there. We're going to get the royal treatment at that club. Thursday, we haven't really got anything on the docket just yet.
Yeah, we
because
had it open for something else, but
Yeah,
I think
like-
we've got some other stuff. We're
going to the Sycamore Tavern. We
Sycamore Tavern,
might,
yeah.
Might jump on a show just happening in Hollywood here. Not one of the big clubs, but might be fun to just, again, hit another spot. But that's all we have for Thursday so far. And I'm knocking on wood that maybe that's not such a crazy day because
No.
I wouldn't mind breathing. from
yeah,
it.
yeah.
We are going to, on Friday, we're going to do a little bit of touristy stuff. And by that, I just mean that we're going to go down to one end of Hollywood Boulevard and we're just going to walk down. We're going to take
Yeah.
a look at some of the stores, some of the stars in the Walk of Fame, get some pictures of like the Chinese theater. Just get
Do
to-
the typical stuff.
Yeah, we're not going to go buying fucking souvenirs and hats, but we're going to get a chance to just take a look at some of the more iconic things that everyone sees here. Get it out of our system so next time we come, we don't
have to do it ever again. Yeah,
Exactly.
You see how tacky it is. I'm sure there might be some material out of it too.
Yeah.
Always.
It's definitely worth checking out, and that's
Yeah.
what I think we're gonna do. We're gonna go for a walk, and we're gonna check out some of the touristy areas. Saturday we fly home. Sunday I have a pet event. I have been getting tons of emails with all the information for the pet event. I have read 0% of them, and I think that's might be what I do on Saturday when we're flying home, is trying to get myself ready to do something. Monday, before I talk to you guys next, the same as always. I'll get up, I'll Uber. I'm featuring at Absolute Comedy, back to my home club. Get to jump back on stage nice and quickly after being
That's
gone
on
for
Monday?
so long. That's on Monday.
Good for you.
Yeah, buddy. And then Tuesday, nothing so far, but I'll tell you what, it's my buddy Jimmy's birthday. All right. I don't actually know if that's Tuesday or not. Now I feel like a shitty friend. Saturday is the 27th. 20.
Saturday is the 27th. Yeah.
28th is Monday.
Nope. 28th is
28th,
Sunday.
sorry, 28th is
So
Sunday.
it'd be the 29th.
30th. Okay, so the 30th is Jimmy's birthday, or Tuesday is Jimmy's birthday.
Tuesdays. Yeah.
Well, there's me just fucking rambling all over the
fine.
place, not really knowing what's going on. So yeah, my buddy Jimmy's birthday's on Tuesday,
Right
and then
before
by
Halloween.
then I'll be chatting with you guys again, telling you all about
Yeah.
how the rest of the shit went. So one last time before I get into the emails, contact at onemanpodcast.com if you want to send anything in at all. What is it? Come on, brain. The social medias, you guys can follow them. One Man Podcast. I would say right now, actually doing everything from my Josh Williams. So Josh Williams Comedy, or just follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. This week, so get this: the first time in history, I had an email from a friend. I didn't flag it properly in my account, so I actually didn't read the email when she first sent it. So I do apologize for that, Red. I've actually got 2 emails this week. Both of them are from Red. She didn't email twice this week. She emailed,
Hi, Red.
Yeah, she emailed once. I missed it, so I put that one in here, and then she's emailed again this week. So I'm going to read them both right as I start to lose my voice. Vanessa writes, hey there, Josh. Vanessa, a.k.a. Red,
Yeah.
by the way. I've been
Yeah.
calling her Red all this time. Then it's Vanessa, like, who? Hey there, Josh. It's been a while since I wrote in and wanted to say hi to you and your onesie crew. I wanted to chime in about the license plates. I love how you tell us the longest, most elaborate stories about stupid shit and then don't elaborate on what your license plate means.
Oh.
I thought I didn't fucking, did I know? I elaborated. Fuck you. I was somewhat disappointed you weren't more creative. Oh, fuck you for sure on that. I have always wanted an Infiniti G35 coupe and wanted the license plate NDBYOND. So and beyond. So she wants an Infiniti and beyond. I get it. She says, I hope you get the
lovely.
reference. Sure do. Buzz,
like it.
Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah.
Did you see Venom? I'm not that fussed because the rating is PG-13. Venom is pretty creepy, so I'm skeptical of it maintaining the rating and still being decent. If you didn't mention it already, what did you think? I did not see it yet. The reviews on Rotten Tomatoes and what everyone's saying about it is just that it's like hot garbage.
Yeah. It's too bad because I like Tom Hardy so much.
I like Tom Hardy and I like Venom.
Yeah. They're two great.
My brother's a huge Venom fan, and we drove past that. So here we were in Hollywood. We drove past a bunch of Venom posters and like murals, like art, like really nice black and white illustrations of Venom next to these posters. Like it was clearly all part of the same advertising campaign, but it's really, really cool.
Yeah.
I've been trying to whip up my phone, but by the time I pull my phone and try to get it unlocked, get the picture up, we've driven past whatever it is. And it's like, and the faster I am with it, the more you just tap on the app and it slides the screen over instead of opening, pissing me off. But I'm trying to take pictures for you guys. What is new with me? I'm looking to get my first tattoo soon, which I always find, is interesting. Which must mean what I always find interesting to see what other people would want to have. Do you have a tattoo? No, I do not. I always do you have a tattoo? Do you have a tattoo? Do you have a tattoo? No. As you know, I'm a huge Trekkie, and I'm getting the Borg designation for Terran above my Achilles.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so I know what the Borg is. I didn't realize that they actually had designations for the races and stuff. I've attached a pic if you want to post it for a discussion on the socials. Cool. I can definitely do that. I have it in my thing first. I should do that when this podcast is over. Have you had a nice Thanksgiving? Ours was pretty simple. I always wished I had a big family with crazy get-togethers. What about you? I had a great Thanksgiving. Mikey invited me to go have Thanksgiving dinner with his family. It was great.
It was awesome.
And I know I've already answered this in the previous podcast, so she's probably already heard this, but I'm so sorry I didn't get your email in sooner.
And do you have a tattue?
No, I don't have a tattoo.
You don't have a tattoo?
No, you know that. We talked about the other day.
Well, the listeners don't know this,
I know
Josh.
that. I know that. I got to really fucking start unplugging these goddamn notifications coming through. You heard it in your ears, eh?
Yeah. No, I didn't hear it.
Really?
Yeah, it didn't come up.
Oh, well, good. That's good. Well, take care of yourself, bud. We will chat soon. Indeed, we will, because you have a second email in here. We're going to chat again right away.
Here we go.
But I don't have a tattoo. I for a few reasons, I would like one. Here's my issue. One, I don't know anything that I would just be into all the time. So many things I was into younger that I was fucking wicked into, and it would take me years to move on from. I would get something, and then all of a sudden, I know that at some point I would regret it. Anything permanent, it's permanent. I mean, hence the name. That was a real good contribution on my part. But here's number two, and probably the more important one, is that because I'm overweight, I know this happens to everybody, but because I'm overweight, I would hate to get a tattoo, lose a bunch of weight, and then the tattoo looks shitty. Yeah. It sags or whatever it is. So I've always been like, if I get myself in shape, I'll start thinking about doing something like a tattoo or whatever. Yeah. So no, I don't, but I think tattoos look great on a lot of people, especially people who take care of themselves, like you do, me good friend Red. So yeah, and the Borg designation thing is very, very cool. That's very cool. Definitely get that. And you know what? I didn't know you were a huge Trekkie, believe it or not. But I've been ranting and raving about how I'm watching the Star Trek: The Next Gen. I'm still in the first season, but I've been thorough. I enjoy Star Trek, but primarily like the Next Gen. I'm still waiting for one to be as good as Next Gen. I watched a YouTube video on Star Trek recently. Mikey, you like Star Trek at all?
Yeah, I was a TNG guy.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
Next Gen.
And I think the reason why I stick to TNG, and I like the original series as well, is mostly because TNG was the series that got me into it. Oh. Like it was out back when I was a kid, and I could see episodes airing for the first time, and it was like, it was the best show for that, and that's what kind of got me into it. And then afterwards,
did you watch like the Bob's Couch on whatever channel that was, the new RO or whatever?
Yeah, I think that's what it was. Hey,
Bob on the couch, and then he would throw to the next episode or whatever.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. Yeah, I do remember that. Wow, that's really you're reminding me a lot. And then I would always watch the reruns on the new TNN, which was they would play the reruns over and over and over. And as I got older, the episodes got more novel because you could see the subtext and the more I was probably maybe 7 or 8 years old when
movie as a kid and an adult.
Exactly, and as you become like a teenager, you get to see the subtext behind TNG a bit more, and they would play a lot of TNG on the new TNN back in the day, and I loved it. And you know what? I did watch a bit of the Deep Space Nine and all the other following series after that. And
I didn't like DS9 as much.
yeah, and same with Voyager.
Voyager, I almost found for me it was like a skips generation. It was like didn't care. I never cared for the original Star Trek because I felt like it was a space western.
Yeah, kind of.
You know what I mean? Kirk would come in, punch the king,
I
fuck
did
the
like it,
queen,
though.
and that was it.
Yeah.
Some people did. Hey, look, if it wasn't good, we never would have got TNG.
Yeah.
But then I liked the Next Generation. Then Deep Space Nine, I didn't give a fuck about it.
Yeah.
And then I liked Voyager.
Yeah.
And then the next one came out.
Enterprise.
Enterprise never even saw it.
No.
I think I maybe tried, and everyone was like, "That's."
As
garbage.
soon as the Rod Stewart theme came out, I was like, I'm done.
Oh,
with
really?
this. Yeah, that's. I mean, they had it going. It had Scott Bakula going for it. And it was fun, but I don't know. I
Has
just
anyone
couldn't
ever
get
said
into
that
it.
sentence before? It has Scott Bakula going for it
Yeah,
and meant it.
yeah. Quantum Leap was one of my most favorite shows. You know what I mean? Like, I love Quantum Leap. I remember watching that as a kid, but it's like, yeah, I thought that would have been cool, but no, it didn't work out.
So Red's second email. Hey, Josh, a couple episodes ago, your friend Chris, I believe, mentioned his chosen custom license plate would be zeros and ones so he could tell people it means random things in binary. You mentioned how you don't think that was plausible since a binary string needs to be quite long to spell anything. And that's what I did think. And you guys know me. If I think it, I say it. With not as much confidence as Mikey, but I still think I'm pretty sure this is what it means. Well, I wanted to let you know that you are partly right. Yay, me, batting somewhat. ASC11 or
ASCII.
Well, yeah, that's what she puts in brackets. Pronounced ASCII.
Yeah. I'm well
Mike's a
aware what
fucking
that is.
computer
I'm a
dildo
nerd,
too.
Yeah.
Is the character encoding standard for electronic communication?
Yeah.
According to ASCII, one letter is seven binary digits. So
That's right.
1000001 is a capital A, for example. So I'm going to make sure I said that the right amount because I got to count those zeros. 1000001 is a capital A, for example.
Right.
It's
So
capital A, not a.
So when you calculate that at 1000001, that's an 8. Is there eight characters total there?
Yeah.
So that would be 1 and 8, 16, 32.
The fuck is happening?
I'm calculating the binary to what the actual
Jesus
decimal
Christ.
is.
Good for you. I couldn't possibly do that. So she says capital A, for example. You go ahead. I'm going to keep going.
Yeah.
So you could get one letter.
129.
So you get one letter using 129?
Yeah, I think so.
Using binary in a Canadian license plate, which is true. You could get one. If, on the other hand, you used decimal or hexadecimal, each letter is 2 characters according to ASCII. Here's what I don't get about that. Okay? So it's 2 characters according to ASCII, and you could then spell any 4-letter word since I think you said it was 8 characters on the license plate.
Yeah.
Here's what I don't get. If it's 2 digits long
Mhm.
and it's ones and zeros, how could you possibly have the entire alphabet? Because you have a maximum of 4 combinations: 00, 01, 10, 11.
It's not 2 digits.
That's what she just said.
So say that again.
This is what she said. If, on the other hand, you use decimal or hexadecimal.
Hexadecimal. That's different.
Yes, each letter is 2 characters
Okay, so-
according to ASCII. Because wouldn't that be 01?
No, you're not using ones and zeros at that point.
What's hexadecimal?
Hexadecimal is using 0 to 9. So it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then A to F.
I see.
So you have that
Thank
as
God you're, because I didn't get it. I was like, if it's ones and zeros, how the fuck do you get more than 4 options?
Yeah. So you're using 0 to 9, A to F, and the combination of that translates. So you take an 8-bit. You have bits and bytes. So a byte is a 1 or a 0, and a byte is 8 bits.
I'm willing my eyes not to cross
no
right
problem.
now.
And you translate that byte of data, which is 8 characters, and you split it in half into what's known as a nibble. And then because you have a byte.
Oh,
and a
fuck. Where was
nibble.
that, Red? I didn't see that in your email.
Yeah.
Super wordy. And this we got.
Yeah, and the nibble you translate.
I think he's kinging your thing right now.
convert
Like,
that
you put this out, he goes,
into
king me with this shit.
2 characters,
Okay.
hexadecimal. So there's a conversion process. that
Okay,
you go through. I've done it before.
But
many
0 to
times.
9 and the letters, that helps me.
Yeah,
'cause
yeah.
I didn't know what the fuck
Yeah.
it is. She
Have you-
says according to ASCII, so since it was the same thing, I assumed
Yeah.
it was zeros ones.
Have you ever gone into Photoshop and then you try to pick an RGB scale?
Yes, and it's
then-
letters and numbers.
That's hexadecimal.
That's hex. Okay, but it's 6 digits long, not 2.
No, you're using a combination of them, right? So it's 6. So one color will be
6 long.
a number, and what that number or that designation is it's all hexadecimal based codes. Yeah.
I applaud the fact that
I
some
tried
of you
to
guys
relate
are
to-
able
okay.
to. No, not that.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying, but I'm saying to sit there and learn how to like throw
Yeah.
letters and numbers in to become a color. Like hats
Yeah.
off to Red, hats off to you. I have a lot of masturbating to do, and I don't
good.
know how I could teach
Make people
myself.
laugh.
Yeah, right. I don't know, but it's and I appreciate, honestly, despite the fact that I try to make it funny, I do appreciate the fact that you guys are making it sense to me, because that's and perfect, because I have played around with that. So I'm like, I have no idea how it knows that. I just assumed it was all coding. So that's wicked. So you say Axie, and then you could spell any 4-letter word, since
That's
I
right.
think you said it was 8 characters less. But so yeah, that way you could. You're absolutely right. Anyways, just wanted to help you out with that one in case you hadn't had someone answer already. I didn't. Thank God Mikey was here, because the two of you collaborated to make beautiful music in my brain that will
Yeah.
last for the next 30 seconds before it leaves.
But you speak of that doing binary, right? If you put a binary on a license plate, I remember one guy tried to get away with the whole replacing O's and zeros and I's with L's,
Okay.
so that if someone walked by and tried to get a ticket off of his license plate, they couldn't do it because they couldn't distinguish between I and a 1. And an L and an O and a 0. So when they went to go to input
they've
it,
changed that now.
yeah, now they can tell, right? They're not allowed to do
You're
that.
not allowed to
now.
do something that looks like something else.
But I know
So-
someone did do that at one point. My favorite license plate story at one point was a guy who he went to, I think it was California. He had the option to put 3 different license plates that he could choose from, and he was like, I want this and I want that, and if you can't have those 2, then I want no plate. And he wrote no plate in the third option.
And that was what he got. No
He
plate.
he got no plate, and that was kind of cool. It was funny, but then he kept it. Then he started getting tickets over and over and over. And what was happening was any car that was abandoned on the side of the road, whoever was entering in the ticket would put no plate, as in the car on the side of the road has no plate. Well, that would actually ding to this guy's actual license plate that says no plate.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to say, well, was he abandoning his car all the time?
No, no. He literally had a plate that said no plate, but then when other people were abandoning, so across the city and whatever in state, he was getting tickets for people that were other cars that hadn't happened to have no plates that were abandoned on the side of the road, and so he was getting thousands upon thousands of tickets.
Obviously, it was resolved properly.
Yeah, no. If I remember correct, reading through the story, it took a lot of bureaucracy and a lot of red tape to get through, and he still
What a
managed.
great fucking story.
Yeah.
In all fairness, like
That's
hilarious
hilarious.
to me. Holy shit! It's 11:30.
Okay.
So Red just does add this last thing. I did a lot of binary math in my degree, so thank
Yeah.
you for bringing back all those tear-filled, torturous memories. Red, thank you so much for taking the time to send these in. I do always enjoy reading your emails. That's the podcast. Fuck, dude, longest one ever. 3 hours and 4 minutes long. Contact onemanpodcast.com to any of you who want to send something in. We have more week to do. So Mikey and I are going to start fucking right back at it. I gotta edit this podcast so I can get it out to you animals.
Yeah.
It's already 2:30 in the morning back home.
Yeah.
So if anyone's desperate for this thing at midnight, like it usually drops, and it's not there. It's
Too
coming.
bad.
It'll be there for when you wake
We're
up.
working on Pacific time here, guys.
Exactly. Portablecrust.com, absolutecomedy.ca, summersbydk.com/ca or dk.com in the States. Those are my partners, guys. Thank you so much to them. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, One Man Podcast. Get on it so you can keep track of what Mikey and I are still doing for the next little while. We got some fun stuff coming up. If you're listening to this on Facebook for any reason, you can subscribe to this on your smartphones. You can go into iTunes, like the podcast app. You can go to Google Play Music. All I would ask is just, if you need any help with that, if you don't understand how, send me a message. All right. If you're listening to this on Facebook, you're connected with me somehow.
Yeah, contact.
You can connect with the One Man Podcast if that's how you're hearing it. If you've never met me and we're not friends, click on the One Man Podcast link. It'll take you to our page, send a message. I will respond personally, helping you find a way to subscribe to this. And of course, anyone who's already subscribed, please take a second, go into whatever app you're using and give this a 5-star review. I would really appreciate that. It makes a big difference on whether or not I get seen, more downloads and streams and all that stuff. The more people want to, become partners and advertise on this podcast, meaning I don't have to do as much grunt work to earn them dollars and cents. So thank you for listening, guys. Mikey, thank you so much for being a part of it, buddy. I'm having a blast with you.
Yeah, I'm having a great time
this week. Yeah, and we got more adventuring to do.
We're not done yet.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's get back to it then. And
All right,
in
guys.
the meantime, you guys will see you on social media, and we'll talk to you next week.